Fakuya. 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 Josie and Fakuya. Those are the names of two of my Bicycle Touring Pro readers who happen to live in Vienna, Austria. And before I tell you about Josie and Fakuya, let me take you back a little bit and tell you what's been going on. So I've ridden my bicycle with the help of a couple trains from Poznan, Poland to Prague in the Czech Republic. Once I arrived in Prague, I met up with my friends Kevin, Michael, and Lene, and together the four of us rode our bicycles south from Prague all the way to the city of Vienna, Austria, over the course of about 1 week. Once we made it to Vienna, Kevin and I met up with Josie and Fakuya, who live in Vienna, Austria, and agreed to host us at their home for 2 nights. So we stayed in Vienna for 2 nights, saw the city a little bit, went out to dinner with Josie and Fakuya, and then the following day, the four of us packed up our bicycles and began cycling south together. This was Josie and Fakuya's first bicycle tour ever. And Josie is just 13, 14 years old. She's a teenager. And Fakuya, he's a little bit older, but this was his first bike tour as well. So it was really great to have not only Kevin riding with me, my friend Kevin, who's joined me on a lot of bike tours all around the world, but Josie and Fakuya as well to be joining us on their first bicycle tour ever. So you guys ready to ride today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. First stop, we're gonna go to the supermarket, I think, get some food, and then the river, and then beyond.
Great.
Hey.
A nice view.
Has Josie done that route before?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah, she was.
Twice? Okay, only twice.
Well, you were fast too. Good morning, Darren Alff here from BicycleTouringPro.com. We are on the Eurovelo 6 route, which is the Danube River route, here just outside of Vienna, Austria. Now the Eurovelo 6 route is probably the most popular bicycle touring route in Europe, and it's popular because it's flat. And it goes all the way from the border of France and Spain, kind of, all the way to the Black Sea in Bulgaria and Romania, and it goes through a whole bunch of countries along the way, and the route is very similar to what you can see here. It's very well marked, largely flat, and extremely popular, especially this section between Vienna and Budapest. That's really one of the most popular sections of this route to ride. Today, I'm on the road with my friend Kevin, who's from Australia. He's been cycling with me for the last week. We started in Prague in the Czech Republic and rode our bikes here to Vienna, Austria over the last 7 days. And now, when we arrived in Vienna, we were invited into the home of Fakuya and his family. And they live here in Vienna, and they kind of invited us into their home, let us stay there for 2 nights, and now Fakuya and his 14-year-old daughter Josie are joining us on our bike ride to the east towards Bratislava and possibly beyond. We'll see how they do and whether they want to continue with us all the way to Budapest. But we're just going today, 55 kilometers, kind of keeping it short and simple and easy. And we'll see how they're doing in the morning, but it's really fun to have the two of them on their first bike tour with us here in Austria and Slovakia. What time is it, Kevin?
Well, according to me, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah? What does that
I'm
mean?
an hour out of sync somehow.
What does 11 o'clock mean?
11 o'clock means coffee.
Yeah.
What else does 11 o'clock mean? What else can it possibly mean? This is a great example of business placement. 25 k's on that flat section, you come over the little dike, and here, the first thing you see,
Pull in here. Yeah.
beautiful. So you can't ride past. It's impossible to ride past.
It's 12.
This is good. Yeah. Great spot for a little cafe. Look at that. Beautiful day. Beautiful garden. Good selection of food and coffee. This is like tourist. No, this is the joy. It is truly. I mean, I make a joke, but it is truly one of the joys of bicycle touring here. Beautiful ride, out in the weather, the wind in your face, and you arrive at a little place like this. It's just magic. Magic.
What do you think of the trip thus far?
Good, I think great start.
Yeah.
And I think we will make it this today.
Yeah, for sure.
And then beyond. I think we will.
How do you think she's doing?
I think she's doing great. Right, Joe? I think she's beating us all.
I think so too.
I'll try my best.
Your best's certainly good enough.
Getting close to the campground.
You are?
Only 5 kilometers.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I'm tired.
You're gonna make it?
I'm gonna make it, yeah. 20%.
Cool. Alright, we're in the final stretch now, just 1 kilometer down to the river, and hopefully the campsite is open. There were no signs coming in here saying there was a campsite, so I'm a little nervous, but it should be good. So we found this campground on the map, but it seems pretty primitive. There's no bathrooms as far as we can tell. There's a big structure that allows you to look out over the river. There's a campsite area here for a fire. There's the Danube River. Kevin's exploring up there to see if there's bathrooms inside. It's a cool campsite though, because I mean there's a fire pit there and that we would have all to ourselves and quiet, and the river.
I mean, there's probably toilets in the village, which is about, what, 1 kilometre up the road.
Yeah, if you really had to go. That's true. Because yeah, I think the other campground is going to be more like a parking lot.
Yeah, okay, let's take it.
Yeah?
You okay with that, Jesse?
Okay.
It is for nothing though.
No, it's not.
No, the only thing, I suppose I can go into town. We can go to town and get water into the village.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get
we'll
water.
just go with what, yeah.
So if we set up a camp, then take the panniers off, we can ride back in and get some water,
I agree.
take a little bottle of wine.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
So we found this really cool campsite that's right here on the edge of the Danube River. The unfortunate part is there are no bathrooms here, there are no showers. There's a campfire pit, but a sign that says we can't have a campfire. but there's free camping and there's no one else here. It's a really beautiful spot. So we've decided to camp here for the night. This is Josie's like first time camping, or maybe like second time camping in her whole life. Fukuya doesn't have a whole lot of camping experience, I don't think, so it should be a good first night out on the road, sleeping under the stars. It'll be an interesting one for sure. We're setting up our tents now, and yeah, should be good. So this is your first time setting up the tent?
Yes.
Yeah. and tell me about your camping experience. How much camping experience do you have?
I have 0.
0?
I have 0, yes. Yeah.
First time ever in your life?
Yep,
Wow, that's exciting.
first time. What can I do here?
Yeah. Yeah. Usually this falls here. You see? And then the entrance is the other side.
Yeah. So the other way.
Yeah, the other way. The other way. No. You take this, you take this. Yes. Good job. Next.
How?
Good question.
Depends on how hard the ground is. Sometimes you have to find a rock or something.
Right. Wait. I think.
That's easier, right?
What is this?
Oil.
Oil? Is that the oil?
I don't know.
Gas, no?
Gas.
Okay.
Gas.
And?
Fire and torture device.
Torture device. Torture device for mouse.
Oh, yeah, okay. What does this do?
Yeah, what does that do?
You know the answer.
Well, Annie, you said this is fire part.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Nope. Alright. May I know what this is?
Wait, what is?
This.
Yes, a torch. Not torture.
Oh. This is a torch. It doesn't look like. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And water. Then fire.
Mm-hmm.
In there.
Okay, assume that the fire is going on now. Wow, how do you? What are these things? You look. Where does it? Where it's connected?
To the
To
side.
this. Do you see how it's connected?
Where do you put the fire part?
Huh?
Where do you put the fire part? It
What does this do?
turns on something.
Turns on what?
Gas.
From where?
Here.
Here to here.
And then you put the fire on.
Yes.
Whoa. I did it! See?
Ta-da! It's boiling.
That took us like a solid 20 minutes, but you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, true.
You grow.
What did you get for dinner tonight?
What happened to the photo?
Oh, I have no more dinner anymore.
No more dinner?
That's it.
Oh god.
You knocked the saucepan off.
No dinner tonight.
I did that too. I still have some water left. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Shoot. Okay, I'm done.
1, 2, 3.
How?
Oh.
Oh, that's so bad. Okay, good game.
Good game.
What are you making, Kevin?
I'm making pea spectacular.
Pea? That doesn't sound good.
It's vegetarian. There's the label.
Oh, okay, that kind of peas.
That kind of peas. To which I've added a little thing of noodles.
Oh.
Yeah, looks nice.
It should keep me going for about 3 days.
Yeah.
And what are you making over there?
Making frittaten soup.
Was that like excellent German pronunciation?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. World class.
Say it.
I can't say any better than you. It's like, frittaten soup.
Frittaten soup.
That's how you say it, right? Right?
That was good.
That was good. 8 years of progress.
Me too, 8 years of progress. In Japanese, it's just a freshly scooped soap. Yeah, it is. I think they use real soybeans because many tofu they don't use real soybeans. It was so good.
Why?
Hey! This is my water bottle.
That was easy though. Oh.
So, it was a pretty good day overall. We cycled close to 60 kilometers, I think 57 kilometers, something like that, today. And it was good having Josie and Fukuya with us. We were a little afraid maybe they'd slow us down or something, but no, actually they were quite fast, sometimes even faster than I would normally cycle. So, yeah, it was great. And then we found this amazing little campsite pretty early in the day, actually. This is the earliest we've ever finished any ride on this particular trip thus far, so had quite a bit of time here at the campsite to just hang out. No showers, no bathrooms, but the campsite itself is pretty spectacular. We had dinner up on this elevated platform, played some games and stuff in camp, talked a little bit, and now the rest of the group has gone to a nearby pub and they're watching the World Cup soccer game on TV. I decided to stay here back at camp and just kind of hang out and watch the tents and the bikes and everything. So that's pretty much it for our first day with Fukuya and Josie. It was really, really well, and they're talking about riding with us all the way to Budapest in Hungary. So we'll see how they are in the morning. They're kind of doing this trip open-ended, so they're not sure. Maybe they will go home tomorrow from Bratislava in Slovakia. We'll probably get there before noon tomorrow, I'm guessing, have lunch in town, and then continue down the river from there towards Budapest. So we'll see in the morning if they get any sleep in their tent or not tonight. Maybe they'll wake up and be totally miserable in the morning, or maybe they'll wake up and be raring to go. We'll see. This is their very first time camping. Josie, I don't think, has ever camped like this out in a tent before, so it'll be interesting to see how she does in the evening once it gets dark and she has to go to bed. But overall, a very good day, very fun. And yeah, it's nice to have some new and different company with us out here on the road.
I want to hear how it was camping last night.
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was hard to sleep at first, but then, you get used to it.
And
What?
it was hard to get to sleep?
Yeah, a little bit. But once you got to sleep, I was asleep the whole time.
You didn't even wake up once. Huh?
No.
Was it scary at all sleeping in the tent, like hearing the noises outside?
Yeah, a little bit was, yeah.
What did you hear?
Like, I heard people walking. Thought it was like a zombie coming to turn
Zombie
me.
coming. What else did you hear?
Animals,
What kind of animal?
like crickets.
Ah,
Birds and
Yeah.
things like that?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
I heard the dogs barking there.
And they have a dog over there, the other people. It was an interesting experience. I'd do it again.
You do it
Okay,
again.
that's
good. I'm glad to hear that.
You think you're going to be able to get everything back in the bags?
We can do anything if we set our minds to it. What is this?
Such a positive attitude.
I know, I like it.
What is this?
You ready to ride?
Always.
Always. You ready to ride?
Yes.
I'm ready to ride also. Kevin's ready to ride.
I'm ready to ride. I'm always ready to ride.
So today we're going to Bratislava, Slovakia. We're going to cross the border from Austria into Slovakia. This is Kevin's first time in Slovakia, right?
Yep.
First time in Bratislava. This is my fourth time, I think, in Slovakia, third time in Bratislava. But I've never done this route along the river here before, so it'll be good. Getting close to Bratislava now. We can see the castle off in the distance. Maybe just another 5 to 7 kilometers or so, and then we'll be in the city. Alright, so we're in Bratislava now. We turned into the first shopping mall that we could find. Kevin got a SIM card for his phone, cost him 20 euros, which gave him 4 gigabytes. Now we went into Bila, the supermarket, which is also in the shopping mall here. Got some food, everybody got some food for tonight and tomorrow. And now we're going into the food court to get some lunch for today. So we're really stocking up here at the shopping mall, and we'll continue from here in Bratislava down the river. So, what did you manage to find for lunch?
Subway, barbecue, chicken, fajita, cheese sandwich.
All of that? That was like 12 things.
No?
Just like combined together, like the small things. Yeah.
And I'm eating it.
Yeah, I got 12 things too. I got pizza, 2 slices of pizza, and 2 little like Greek salad things. What are you having for lunch over here?
We're going to have an avocado and bread and cheese. I've just had a couple of bananas because I was ravenous.
Yeah.
That'll do me.
Okay.
I've got enough food to get me through tomorrow if there's no shops open as well. So now the next problem is where I put it all. I've either got to eat it all or I've got to find somewhere in the panniers.
Yeah. Well, we didn't stay in Bratislava very long. We just kind of made a quick pit stop here. Got a SIM card for our phones, got some food, filled up our water bottles, and now we're on our way. Downtown Bratislava is kind of behind me there through the arches of this bridge. We've gone 32 kilometers to get here to Bratislava today, and we're going to go quite a bit further. So yeah, here we go. Goodbye Bratislava, back on the Eurovelo 6 Danube River. So we've left Bratislava and we're out on this amazing little bike path that is super flat and super speedy. I'm going 26 kilometers per hour at the moment. Was going 32 a moment ago. Pretty easy to go flat. There's lots of inline skaters, bikers, runners out here on the trail. We are just about to cross the border now. This morning we crossed from Austria to Slovakia, and now we're going to cross from Slovakia into Hungary. So we're crossing 2 international borders in a single day in a very short time period. And here it comes, the border of Slovakia and Hungary. We're biking down this long, island that separates Slovakia from Hungary. On my left, behind me here, the clouds and water in the distance, that's Slovakia. Mainland Slovakia is over there. Over to my right, behind those trees, just about 100 meters or less, that is Hungary. We are going to cross over to Hungary at some point, but we're basically going to continue down this long island for several dozen kilometers, and eventually we will cross into Hungary. For now, however, we are enjoying these scenic views along the waterfront. Beautiful clouds in the sky today. Really, really nice. Woo! We're flying. We've gone, I'm looking at my odometer now, 53.36 kilometers today. And that's in 3 hours. So we got 53 kilometers in 3 hours of cycling. It's pretty fast for bicycle touring. And we're able to do that because the road is flat. So we just did 80 kilometers for the day, just past the 80 kilometer mark. That is the furthest that Josie has ever ridden her bicycle in a single day. So we're setting some records with her. She's never been on a bike tour, never gone camping, and now today she's never ridden over 80 kilometers, and now she has. So pretty good record-setting trip here for her, I think, at age 14.
So I need to interject here because unfortunately I lost some of the video footage from this part of the trip. So what happened was we were cycling down this long island peninsula sort of thing in Slovakia, and the plan was to go to this little ferry landing and take a ferry boat across the water over into Hungary. And right on the other side of the water in Hungary was the campground that we were planning to stay at. So we made it to this little ferry landing. We waited for 2 hours for this ferry boat to show up. While we were there, Kevin had his coffee, of course, second coffee of the day I might add, and the ferry boat never showed up. And we don't know why, time of year perhaps, I have no idea, but the ferry boat never showed up. And so what were we gonna do? There were no campgrounds nearby, so we basically just walked our bikes a short distance, like 1/10 of a kilometer down the road, and found this little spot in the forest, right on the edge of the river, and that's where we decided to make camp for the night.
Well, we waited here at the ferry landing for more than 2 hours and the ferry didn't show up like the woman said it would. So we've decided that we're just gonna camp like right here behind me in these trees. Spend the night here. We don't have toilets, running water, anything, but we're gonna camp here, and then tomorrow we'll bike 40 kilometers into town, and we'll say goodbye to Fukuya and Josie, and then Kevin and I will continue from there kind of east through Hungary and Slovakia. So the plan is one more night with no showers and no running water, no bathrooms, here in the woods in Slovakia.
Yeah.
Second day camping. Should be easier this time.
Be easier this time. That's what we just talked about. Did you put it in? Good?
No, I need to wait first. Need to.
Well done, Joe.
Voila! Hold. Eventually, it will start to boil. And when that happens, you put this, well, I don't even know what this is, into that.
Okay.
Then voila, dinner.
Good. Okay.
Yes!
Well, you think it was too much water?
Oh shoot, yeah.
This is the story. Keep going because the rice will absorb. Don't make a mess. Look, it's much better now.
But I still put way too much water. This looks like it.
It looks so good, Joe.
What? No, it doesn't.
What do you mean it doesn't?
Hey, try it. This is homemade risotto.
Oh,
Peas and
you have to
carrots.
keep stirring.
I can't even keep the camera still. I'm laughing so hard.
No, but you know what? I will eat it because I think it's yummy. But just the rice is a bit crunchy.
So how do you rate my Master Chef cooking?
10. Tastes like yummy risotto.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, make yours then.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm making my father and I some breakfast.
Nice. What's for breakfast?
It's chicken broth with noodles.
Like chicken noodle soup, kind of.
Chicken noodle soup.
How did you sleep last night?
I slept well, except for the people that came.
Yeah, what were you thinking when you heard all that noise outside your tent?
I thought they were zombies
Really?
coming to kill us.
And what were they doing?
I don't really know, actually. They were like starting a fire, I think.
Yeah. Were you scared, Kevin?
I wasn't scared, no.
Concerned?
Oh, concerned because I didn't quite know what they were doing. But like you say, as soon as they started making fire, I thought, yeah, okay. And if there was any aggression involved, they would have, immediately kind of made their intentions clear, but they didn't. They're just here for the fishing, really.
Yeah.
And the fishing doesn't look very good, by the sound of it. They don't seem to be pulling in many fish.
No.
So I'm not quite sure they're getting a lot of reward for their efforts. Yeah, so.
Did you get any sleep last night?
Oh, I slept beautifully when I slept.
When you slept, yeah.
Just 3 interruptions. I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. I'll make up for it tonight.
Fukuya,
Yes.
what happened last night?
I think people came here to make fire, and I think they were eating something, and then another car came. I don't know. I think maybe they went for fishing or something, and then they were bothering us.
Yeah.
But I guess in the end we slept well, I think.
Yeah. How close were they to your tent?
Right, like 5 meters.
5 meters away, yeah. And
It was a bit scary in the beginning.
I saw flashlights and stuff. Were they shining the light on the tent, or?
Yeah, kind of. Not intentionally in the beginning, so I had to get out and then I had to see what's happening with my light on.
Did you talk to them?
I said hi, hello, and good night.
And did they say anything?
I didn't understand. I think they said something, but I didn't understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you scared?
Yes, I think Josie was also scared.
Yeah. I was scared too.
Yeah. But in the end, it was okay.
Well, we had quite a night sleeping on the edge of this river near the border of Slovakia and Hungary. We pitched our tents on the edge of this woods that you see behind me, and we kind of thought this would be a good place to camp. But at about 11:30 at night, a car pulled up, 3 people got out, and none of us knew exactly who these people were or what they were doing. And they were just a few meters from our tents. And I was wide awake, I was scared, I was thinking, what is going on? And they started a fire. They just started a campfire right there next to our tents, just a few meters away, and sat there for quite a long time in silence. They weren't really talking, 3 people, and it was kind of freaky, and none of us knew what was quite going on. I got out of my tent at one point, kind of peered around in the dark and was watching them a bit. I don't know if they saw me or not. Kevin was definitely awake and he knew what was going on there. I think Fukuya got out of his tent and shined his flashlight on him a little bit and maybe said something to him. But eventually I kind of realized, okay, they're just having a campfire at midnight, and I tried to go back to sleep. Well, they eventually left. I'm not sure what time it was. I didn't really pay much attention. Got in their car and drove away. Then at about 3:30 in the morning, another car pulled up. A guy got out, and at this point I was really concerned because I thought maybe it was the first car coming back for whatever they had seen in the campsite, try to steal our bikes or something like that. So I jumped out of my tent very, very quickly when that second car came back. I shined my flashlight right on the guy, the guy that I could see at least, and he didn't even turn around. He was kind of facing away from me, and I could see in an instant that this guy was a fisherman. He had a fishing pole and a big long net, and he didn't even turn when I said, hey. And so it was at that point that I realized we are at a fishing spot, a popular fishing spot here on the border of Slovakia and Hungary, and these people are going to be coming to fish. So I just climbed back inside my tent at that point and went back to bed, but it was kind of a scary, stressful, eventful sort of night where I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked to. I don't think any of us got as much sleep as we would have liked to. And today we're going to cycle now 44 kilometers into the town of Goya or something like that, Gora, where we're going to drop off Fukuya and Josie at the train station. They're going to ride the train back to Vienna, and then Kevin and I will continue down the road kind of east along the border of Slovakia and Hungary on our very own. So that's what's going on today. A little fright this morning, and now it's time to pack up our tents and hit the road.
right, we're on the bridge going from Slovakia to Hungary now, crossing over the water and crossing over the border. So, in the past month, I've been to 7 different countries that speak 7 different languages, and now I'm crossing the border into Hungary at this very moment, where they speak a new language and have a new currency. This is what it's all about right here. There we are. What do you think about riding your bike across 3 countries?
That's really cool. 3 days?
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
How accomplish this? Pushing my limits.
Yeah, we pushed you yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah. I give it up.
It's your 3rd country in 3 days.
Yes.
That's pretty neat, huh?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
We achieved something big.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of my daughter, Josie.
So we're in the city of Győr, Hungary, and I'm sure I butchered the name of that city, so I apologize, but we're in the final 5-kilometer stretch of our bike tour here with Josie and Fakuya, and we're on a nice little bike path here in Hungary, which is really nice. Are you sad the trip is over, or ready to go home and take a shower? Yeah.
There you go.
It's the end of our trip.
It's the end.
Wow. We'll miss you guys.
We'll miss it. It was
Yeah,
really
we'll miss you
fun.
too. It was great having
It
you.
was great having
Yeah,
you
it was
along, yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. That's brilliant.
Have fun camping out again.
Okay.
I get to
Few
go
hours
home.
time.
Yeah. If you do another bike trip, let me know how it
I
goes.
will.
Send me a picture.
I'll text you.
Okay, that'd be
Good.
cool. All right. Good
Thank-
luck getting home, and
Good
yeah.
luck on your way back to wherever you're going.
Thanks. Okay.
Ciao.
Bye. So we just said goodbye to Fakuya and Josie, and now Kevin and I are back on our own, heading east, kind of following the border of Hungary and Slovakia. We're gonna put in another, 40 kilometers or so today?
Yeah.
And find a place to camp. We're after the long day yesterday and the kind of disrupted sleep last night. We're gonna take it kind of easy today and hopefully find a place to camp relatively early. Just hang out and relax. This road is so nice. I am absolutely flying right now, going about 26 kilometers per hour and barely having to pedal at all. It's just perfectly flat, incredibly smooth. The sun is out, it's hot, but the self-generated wind is keeping me cool. Just a really great ride right now. So we're just about to town. There are 3 different campsites supposedly in this town. The first one is called Natura Camping, and Kevin and I are thinking it's possibly a nudist resort. So, not sure what this first campground is going to be, but we're about to go and see. What do you think, Kevin? Nudist resort or no?
Probably is.
You think so?
Natura sounds a bit giveaway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Kevin's coffee break in the afternoon. It's tea time with Kevin.
Afternoon tea.
All right, here we are at the end of the day. Just finished our 3-day bike tour with Fukuya and Josie. How did today go?
Well, very successful. We got to Gio and had lunch, and we'd ridden about 40 k's or something in the morning, quite hot. And Darren and I sort of loaded up with a bit of extra fuel, and away we went again. And here we are. We sort of put in about another 40 odd.
Yeah, about 70 something.
70 or 80 to here. A nice little campground. The boss here gave me a free beer and Darren a free Coca-Cola, and then just now gave me a free white wine as well. So, yeah, nice camping spot. We're happy.
Yeah.
It's a good day all around.
The only disappointment was this place is called Natura Camping,
Yep.
and we kind of thought it might be a nudist resort or something.
And we're going to get the kid off and jump in the pool with them, but no, there's no pool and there's no nudists. So.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, but you know, for €5 we can't complain. So, yeah, pretty good day overall, and like I said before, like I'm really impressed with how Josie did in particular on this bike trip. Like,
yeah, she was spectacular.
Yeah. When I heard a 14-year-old girl would be coming on the trip with us, I thought, could be good, could be, you know, we could be.
Yeah, I thought we could be in for some pain, but when I met her back in Vienna, first time I met her, I thought, she's a gutsy young woman, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if she really hangs in there. And she really even, exceeded those expectations. She was much stronger and. Didn't complain, never complained. I don't know whether she was suffering at all, but she didn't ever complain. She just pushed on, and in fact was half a k out ahead of us at quite a lot
most
of
the
points.
time. Yeah.
So, on a noisy old Trek bike. So yeah, look, she did exceptionally well. And then Dad told me this morning that she's planning another trip next week. She's trying to talk him into another trip next week.
Yeah.
So I suggested to him that he introduces panniers to her. That might slow her down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't carrying any weight on the trip, but
no.
Her dad was carrying it all. But still, anyways, very good first bike tour, I think, at age
brilliant.
14.
Age 14, sensational.
Yeah. Here we are outside of Natura Camping. How was your stay at the nudist resort, Kevin?
From a nudist point of view, pretty uneventful, but from a camping point of view, pretty nice. Nice showers, nice bathrooms, bread roll for breakfast, delivered by our host, Burret. Nice kind bloke, so yeah, great.
Yeah. So now we're going to head down the road this way for about 65, 70 kilometers or so. Yeah, kind of following the river along the border of Hungary and Slovakia. We've stopped on the side of the road here. We found a little picnic table in a park. What do you have for lunch today, Kevin?
I've got the bread roll courtesy of the camping owner last night. Gave us 2 bread rolls this morning. Very generous of him. And I saved one for lunch. And I've got a bit of cheese and a bit of paprika spread on it, just to give it a little bit more oomph.
Cool.
I've just had 2 coffees, so I've got a fair bit of oomph on board.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the moment.
And
you need your wits to cope with the bloody trucks on that road.
Yeah, there's a few trucks on this road that we're on right now. It's not the greatest. After being on the bike paths and stuff for the last few days, you know, they were perfectly flat and no cars. Now we're back in the street, and it's not as much fun.
Not as much fun.
Yeah. I have for lunch like some crushed tortilla chips, an apple, a is that a nectarine, Kevin?
Apricot.
Apricot, sorry, apricot. And like a half melted bar of chocolate. And that's it. Oh man, we are living it up here in Hungary. Hey. Hi. Are you 5 and I'm 3, or are you 3 and I'm 5? I want
Mugshot.
I want to be number 5.
This is my mugshot.
53. This campsite cost 11 euros each, which is the most I think we've paid for any campsite on this whole trip. And it shouldn't cost that much. I think no campground should cost more than $10 US. We're sleeping on the ground, for goodness sakes. This costs $15 for a spot on the ground and a shower.
Yep. Getting used to this now.
I think you should practice setting my tent up now. Got to get used to that. That would be good.
I'd like $1 for every time I put a tent up in my life.
Yeah, serious. Okay, so we set up camp. Now we're walking 1 kilometer into town to get some food. Hopefully.
Promises vegan options.
Well, yeah.
I'm highly encouraged.
And hopefully it doesn't cost 11 euros. Good morning from Hungary. I'm on the border of Hungary and Slovakia right now. I climbed inside my tent last night and I had an email from Stu, who works at the Dollar Shave Club, and he wants me to write an article about camping because I've spent so much of my life camping in a tent, and he wants the article by today. Like, he gave me 24 hours notice. So I was up late working on the article. Here's my computer. And it's morning now and I'm still not done with the article. It's like 10 pages long at the moment. So I'm trying to get that done before Kevin and I leave this campsite. Unfortunately, the internet here is really slow and I'm having a really hard time getting anything done. So I'm just working from this electrical box with my laptop on top of one of my panniers. This is how Bicycle Touring Pro is run much of the time. Alright, so I just finished writing this article for the Dollar Shave Club. It wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, but I sent it to the guy and he wrote me back and he said, wow, this is great. So hopefully that's good. You'll see my article about camping in the Dollar Shave Club newsletter pretty soon. I am going to check out of the campsite now, campsite number 5. Kevin's already over here waiting for me. He's been awake since like 5:30 this morning, I think. It's 10:30 now, so he's been waiting a very, very long time, whereas I have been up very, very late. He went to bed early. I went to bed at like 1:30 this morning and then was writing this article all morning long as well. So we're on very different schedules. One good thing about traveling with Kevin is he's a vegetarian like I am, so we have very similar like eating habits. The bad thing is we operate on two very different schedules. He wakes up super early and goes to bed super early. I stay up super late and start, you know, in the morning super late. So we're like, our schedules are way off. Anyways, he's waiting for me. We got to get going. We got like 80 kilometers. We're going to cycle today. We're going to cross the bridge into Slovakia, kind of follow the border up, kind of crisscross over between Slovakia and Hungary, just kind of following the border of these two countries today. There's Kevin. He's ready to go.
Raring to go.
He's been raring to go for about 5 hours. What time did you wake up tonight, or this morning?
About
5:30?
5:30, then I just rolled over and went back to sleep for about an hour. Got up 6:30, made a cup of tea, ate the remains of last night's pizza, which was not quite as good as it was last night. And then had a bread roll and tomato. And yeah, just managed to get the cafe to open to buy a coffee as well. They don't open until 12. I told them it was coffee time. So they relented and made me a coffee.
Nice.
Kind of. So then I alerted the campground owner that there's no hot water in the shower.
Oh, so yeah. I'm sure they know that.
Well, she feigned surprise anyway. So no worries. Cold shower's good.
Yeah. Well, the most important part of what you said there was you've already had Kevin's coffee break today.
I've had the coffee break. Done. I had it all on my lonesome over there.
It's time for Kevin's coffee break. So we don't have to do that today.
We don't have to do that today.
Okay.
We just power straight through the coffee break.
That's how you know we're getting a late start.
It's coffee break anyway.
Right now, it's coffee break. Okay. All right, I'm ready. I just gotta put my helmet on. Here we go.
Again.
Across the bridge into Slovakia. So we're in Hungary right now, but right there across that bridge is Slovakia, and that's where we're going today. Just crossing over to the bridge, turning right, going north, up along the river. So just like that, we are back in Slovakia without any fanfare. A few Range Rovers around here, I've noticed. I forgot to fill up my water bottles at the campsite there, so I went into like a little tavern and went in and used the bathroom, and there were two doors, one for the gentlemen and one for the ladies. And I pushed open the gentleman door, and it just went back into the back patio, suggesting that you just pee in the back, basically. So I went into the ladies' bathroom instead. We've gone about 13.5 kilometers now in Slovakia, and we're turning right. We're going back into Hungary. Dog barking at me. Going back into Hungary now. Hot today. It's actually not that hot. It's just muggy. The air smells like smoke, campfire smoke, and fresh cut grass, and you're like in a heater. That's what it kind of feels like and smells like right now. Just hot, fresh cut grass. So we've just hit what is the first climb of our last several days, going on the Eurovelo 6 Danube River route. It's been super flat, but here we are back in the hills. One big hill today.
The law of Buddhism is suffering, it's impermanent, it's not personal. My positive spin on this hill.
I'm waiting for Kevin at the top of the hill. We just climbed a pretty big hill, biggest hill for the day. He should be right behind me here. Didn't want to go down the hill without him. It is so hot. Like, I don't know if you can see on my arms like how much sweat, sunscreen and stuff is just coming off of me on my face. I touch my face, it feels like I'm going through about a millimeter of water. Ugh. Go, Kevin, go. You made it to the top. We're at the top.
At the top.
You tired? Sweaty?
Sweaty. Yeah. That was a bit of a solid push,
Yeah.
the last few Ks. But nothing that men of our capabilities can't handle, Darren.
That's right. It's really hot.
Who would have thought hungry and hot would have been used in the same sentence? But
I would. That's all I think about when I think of Hungary, is like this kind of landscape right there,
yeah.
and like the blazing heat.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Now we're going downhill for 9.2 kilometers into this town called Ipel or something like that. And it's actually in Slovakia, so we're going to cross the border from Hungary back into Slovakia now. All right, we just crossed the border now, back in Slovakia. Third border crossing of today. Which country do you like more, Kevin? Hungary or Slovakia?
This part of the country is really interesting, wherever it is, Hungary or because beautiful hills. And
He's trying to be so nice and politically correct. I like Slovakia more because they use the euro.
Yeah. I have to say the currency is a bit of a headache because you've got to keep swapping all the rest. But yeah, I'd rather stay in the Eurozone and spend these euros out of my pocket rather than end up with all this Magyar money in my pocket.
Yeah, we have no Hungarian money, so we went to the store a second ago and tried to get some cold drinks, and we didn't have enough money in the Hungarian currency, and they didn't take credit cards or any other currencies. So happy to be back in Slovakia. So we just had our lunch here in this small town in Slovakia, and now we have a 35 kilometer bike ride kind of once again along the border to the east, and then we're going to cross back into Hungary tonight and stay in a small town there on the border. So several border crossings today. There's Kevin. Just waiting. I'm waiting for Kevin again.
The
And
problem with the knife, we might have to deal with that
Hungarian currency again.
Yeah, well, if the hotel is $30, we'll just pull out $30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, here we go.
Yeah, we're off.
So today's a strange little day, having crossed the border so many different times and still gonna cross the border one more time by the end of the day. Over the, right here behind me, this is Slovakia, and there's a car passing. So that's Slovakia right behind me, and then right over there in those fields, that's Hungary. Like, that's how close we are to the border right now. And we can see a town off in the distance here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's Hungary. So, yeah, just a strange little day. And there's Kevin, crisscrossing the border between Slovakia and Hungary. We are approaching the city where we're going to be staying tonight. There is no campground here in town, as far as we know. So we're going to look into staying in a hotel. And I can't pronounce the name of this city. I can't pronounce the name of any of these cities. They're all so hard. Bike tourists, hey! And here we go, crossing the border back into Hungary again. I don't know. Go this way. How's it look?
It's fine.
So we found this really nice hotel here in town, but they're all full. There's nobody here at the moment, but they say they're all full. I think they have a big bus coming in later today full of people. So yeah, we got to find somewhere else to stay now. Kevin, we might be camping in our tents.
Up in the bush,
Yeah, all sweaty. So hotel number 1 was a bus. They're all full. Now we're going back into the center of town and gonna try to find some other places to stay. There are some places on my map that are marked as lodging, but they're not like actual hotels, I don't think. So we'll see what we can find here. There's I can't see because I have my glasses on. Look how sweaty I am. So where are we right now, Kevin?
No idea. I don't know the name of the town, but we've just crossed back from Slovakia back into Hungary by about 2 kilometres or something.
Yep.
And we're in a town called something. No idea.
But we found this.
We managed to find a hotel. We went to one place, it was booked out, they wouldn't have us. So we cruised around and we found this place that looked for all the world like it was empty and closed. But then a woman turned up and said, "You got a room?" And she said, "Of course I've got a room," sort of.
Yeah.
So we, in some broken English, we managed to negotiate a room for about $35 up in the attic here. Very nice.
All right, now we're leaving Hungary first thing in the morning and crossing back over the border into Slovakia. We're gonna make 2 more border crossings today, I believe. So it's the first of 3. There we are, Slovakia. Last night when we were in town just kind of walking around, I passed this building where they had some listings for houses for sale. And the first house that I priced out, it was in Hungarian currency, of course, but the first house cost less than $7,000. It was like $6,700. The second house I priced out was like, would be like my dream house in America if I could build such a thing. Really big, kind of like a cabin in the woods sort of thing. And it cost like $70,000 for like what would be considered my dream house in America. Something that would probably cost $500,000 or more. So, pretty crazy how cheap the prices are here. We're going up our first hill of the day here. This is about a 3-kilometer climb up to the top. Nice houses behind me here. Really nice neighborhood. Kevin caught up to me back there. I stopped and waited for him at the turn. But when he caught up to me, he said, "Wow, you really got some fuel in you this morning. You're really going." And I thought, just kind of going my average speed. But I am feeling really good at the moment, actually, physically, you know? And I haven't felt this good for like the last 2.5 years. Oh, we got a big downhill here. I better wait for Kevin. I'm gonna pull over. Kevin will come up the road here behind me. But yeah, I've been feeling really well lately, especially on this trip, which is something I haven't felt on my previous bike tours. If you watched me go to Alaska or South America recently, I was really out of it on those 2 trips. I don't know if you could tell in the videos. I was kind of faking it a little bit maybe, but making myself look a little happier on video than I was. But yeah, I was freaking out of it on those trips. And the reason I was out of it is because I was diagnosed with testicular cancer like 2.5 years ago. And it was really hard for me. The physical part of recovering from the surgery wasn't hard. It was just like the mental stuff, and I think I'm still dealing with that a little bit. But I feel like now, 2.5 years later, I'm finally getting past it. But what's funny is like when I had cancer, I got the cancer at some point during my 14-month-long bike tour across Europe and Asia. And that's kind of around the same time that I started making these videos, actually. And so if you go back to the very beginning and watch my vlogs from the very beginning, you're watching a guy who has cancer and doesn't know it for the first 3 months or so of my videos, which is really kind of creepy to watch. I think I've gone back and watched some of the videos and where I'm feeling really tired or something, and I think, you know, was there something going on there that I just wasn't aware of? But anyways, yeah, feeling good now that I'm 2.5 years past the whole incident. It's just funny because like when I did have cancer and when I found out, I felt really, really good too. Like I felt like I was in the best shape of my life, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have cancer. So it's weird because you don't feel any different. Like I didn't feel tired or anything. Here's Kevin. There he is. Woo! Yeah. There he goes. He's just ditching me now. How rude is that? Anyways, yeah, it's just weird because I felt so good and I was actually quite sick. And it scares me now that I'm feeling so good. It's almost like I'm scared because I feel good. That's a weird thing to feel, right? Anyways, I better go. Kevin's waiting for me. The road calls. The open road is calling. Get back out there, Darren. Stop talking. Ride your freaking bicycle. So we are entering now the border town of Busan, Slovakia, and I butchered the name, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop here and fill up our water bottles, maybe get a little food, a snack or something, maybe have Kevin's coffee break, and then we're gonna cross the border back into Hungary. We want to get food and stuff here because we have no Hungarian currency, and a lot of the places in Hungary don't accept credit card. So yeah, so we want to use our euros while we're in Slovakia to stock up, get us through the next couple hours of riding in Hungary, and then we'll cross back into Slovakia later today. Want to stock up here?
Supermarket stop?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Break shop.
Yeah.
És hogy ő rá se
Jól mondtam. Megittem. Igen, így becsületes. Én mondom a igazat, hogy megittem is én, de hát...
De fejezd már be, azt hisz már, mert az emberemmel nem bírok. Nem? Nem, hát tudod, hogy milyen betegek.
So that little bridge right behind us is the border crossing between Slovakia and Hungary. That car is in Slovakia. We're in Hungary now. This way is the way we're going. Look at the road. Yep.
Dirt track.
Dirt track. For about 2 kilometers, I think, or something. And see over there, that town? That's, or over there, one of those towns, we hit the road. So, not very far. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that this will be the last time we are in Hungary. We have 16 kilometers to just kind of cut across the small corner of the country. This seems like a very poor part of Hungary. Lots of abandoned cars and stuff along the side of the road, run-down houses. The people look a bit more worn themselves, darker, dirtier. Their clothes are ripped. So yeah, interesting. This area off to my right is some kind of nature preserve. It's really beautiful, actually. There's a river off to my left, and over there, across the way, in the distance, that's Slovakia. So again, we're just hugging the border here between Slovakia and Hungary. Alright, say goodbye to Hungary for good because we are crossing into Slovakia for the last time. Whew. This is the old border station up ahead. There are no longer any border checks between Hungary and Slovakia because these two countries are part of the European Union. So I can just cycle straight through here without having to check my passport. If we had had to stop and get our passport checked at each and every one of these border crossings we've gone through in the last couple days, I don't think we would have gone this way. We would have tried much harder to just stay in one country. But because we knew the borders were open, we were willing to cross and crisscross several times across Hungary and Slovakia. So now we got about 41 or 2 kilometers to go until we reach our campground tonight. And it's a beautiful day out here in Slovakia now. Woo. We're going off on dirt road. Kevin doesn't like these dirt roads, I don't think. That way, Kevin! Doesn't that look fun?
Huh?
What do you think of my shortcut, Kevin?
Very scenic.
Ci stavamo pensando. E troviamo.
Passport? Yeah. Do you have your passport?
I'll grab it.
We've got camp set up. Cost us €8 tonight to camp here at this water park. I don't know what it is actually. Some kind of water park and campground and mini golf place.
River resort.
Kevin's already gone for a swim. He said that alone was worth the €8. I've had my shower. Now we're gonna get some French fries because that's pretty much all they have here that we can eat. And then we'll make ourselves some food in the campsite afterwards. How do you feel after today's 87.4?
Oh, I feel fantastic. I thought it was a hard 87.
Yeah.
Considering we did it on the top of 80 odd yesterday, or 70 odd, 77 yesterday or something in the heat.
Yeah.
And yeah, the heat sort of came back again today. The last half of the day was pretty hot. out there. Well, I was just drinking water like mad. I don't know that I really kept up with my hydration, but yeah, I drank a lot of water today.
Neither one of us has peed in the last like 48 hours.
Well,
Is
I
that
don't
right?
know whether I should say on camera, but I did.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot, you.
At least that's happened.
Yeah.
One milestone out of the way. At least my kidneys are still functioning.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I really like this building. It's, you know, light and airy and got a lot of heavy timber, but it's, you know, the sun shining in and it's a view of the pool and river down there.
Yeah.
It's French fries and red wine, so it's an odd combination which I'd probably never attempt at home, but there you go, I'm a long way from home. Campsites, we just camped just up there, up on the hill, by ourselves. I doubt that we'll see another soul overnight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no complaints whatever.
So I'm gonna interview you
Sure.
because I feel like we've done 4 bike trips together, and still I don't think I've ever done a proper introduction to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So who are you, and how do we know each other?
We know each other by doing a bike trip in Switzerland
Yeah.
and meeting up there. But prior to that, I had actually been on to Bicycle Touring Pro on the web, so I kind of knew sort of who you were. So I knew you were in Switzerland, so I went to Switzerland, did the Swiss Challenge Tour. So that's kind of where it all started, really.
Yeah. But okay, before that was in 2012. We met on
Yep.
the Bike Switzerland Challenge Tour. But before that, who were you? Where
Well,
are you from?
where do I start? Well,
Yeah.
I'm from Australia, from Adelaide, in Australia, in the Adelaide Hills. Been married for a long time, 46 years, kids, grandkids, whole family kind of structure, family setup.
How many kids?
3 kids, 6 grandkids.
Oh.
But you know, I'm turning 70 this year, so there's kind of a lot of history. I can't relate to a whole lot of it. I mean, it's okay when you're 30 you can relate your history, you know, it doesn't take all that long, but when you're 70 it's a much longer history. So yeah, just look, lots of life experience, lots of stuff that I've done, including you know, some time in the Navy and some time away in Vietnam during the Vietnam War and all the rest of it. Yeah, stable work life, and a nurse for most of it. Oh, I started off as a bricklayer, but that was way back. But yeah, a nurse for most of it, doing, I thought, really valuable and interesting work, particularly the last 10 years of my working life. I was working with people with HIV and people dying of various, usually cancer, in the last days, weeks, months of their lives. So yeah, that's kind of where I've come from. But parallel with all that, parallel with being the, you know, the stock standard husband and father and grandfather and all the rest, there's also been the bit of me that's been out there and bushwalking and doing stuff in the bush, camping, which is not an interest. My wife doesn't mind camping, but she doesn't like rough camping. She'd much rather have kind of softer camping. So, and that's fine. That's fine. We do a bit of that, but I'm okay with the rough stuff as well. I don't mind a few weeks away in the Australian outback in the red sand and the dust and flies. And then about, I don't know, 10. I've always ridden bikes. I bought my first road bike in 1966 when I was in the Navy. So you know, bikes and I go back a long way. But touring wise, I really became interested, I suppose, about 10 or 12 years ago. Started to think about bike touring, and so I started to accumulate stuff and buy bikes and do short, couple of days here or a couple of days there sort of trips. I joined a touring cycling club in Adelaide, all of whom are very experienced touring cyclists. So I learned a lot in a very short time riding with them, and then it's just really built on from there. So it's you know, I kind of lead 2 or 3 lives all simultaneously. The life of, you know, the husband and father and grandfather and all that, and then the life of being outdoors doing stuff that's a bit more adventurous.
Yeah. You have a lot of interests, though, that are kind of outside of work and family and bike touring. What other things are you into?
Some people are joiners in life and some people aren't. I'm a joiner. If something takes my interest, I'll usually join a club or join a group of people who do the same thing. I think the secret to living long is to do things that you love in a group, you know, or do it with other people. So my wife and I, Vicky and I, have always been involved with a theatre group for the past 35 years or so, and that's been a big part of our life.
And what do you do there?
Vicky's been mainly involved in the production side, particularly costumes, whereas I've been more involved in the acting, directing, set building kind of side of that as well. But it's an enormous undertaking. I mean, to run a theatre company is just, the amount of work involved is like 2 full-time jobs. It's enormous.
Yeah.
I've also been involved with a scientific group over the past few years, that we do biological surveys out in the Australian outback for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. So that's been a big part of my life in the past 10 years at least. And the physical stuff, I guess, the gym and the walking and the cycling, you know.
There's other things too, though, that you're not mentioning.
Which things?
Like your meditation retreats.
All right, okay. Yeah, I mean, that goes back a long way. When I was about 13, I decided that I was a Buddhist. I don't know where that came from, particularly, and I don't know that at 13 I knew anything about what I was talking about, but I certainly told my mother that I was a Buddhist, and she was pretty horrified about the whole thing, and luckily she didn't ask me anything about it because I wouldn't have been able to explain. But I just, somewhere or another in my heart or in my mind or something, I knew I was a Buddhist, and I didn't quite know why or how. When I was in the Navy and away in Hong Kong and places, I saw temples and I saw monks, and I knew that was sort of the path for me, that there was something there that I really identified very strongly with. And so I've been involved with a lot of Tibetan Buddhist centres over the years and teachers, and I took my whole family to India one time to catch up with a Tibetan Lama that we knew, which was a wonderful experience for everybody. And then more recently I've been involved in the last few years with an American teacher, Vimala Ramsey, and I've done a few retreats with him now. I did one in Bali, which I took my granddaughter to, and another silent retreat in Malaysia this year. So,
and by a retreat, you mean like you sit there and meditate for a week or something?
Yeah, 2 weeks of silence, meditating pretty much all day. I was meditating really about 9 hours a day, plus an interview with the teacher every day. No food after midday, full on, but just extraordinarily liberating, amazing experience. And the clarity of the teaching, the particular teacher that he doesn't call himself a teacher, he says, I'm just the guide, I'm just the person to kind of steer you in the right direction. Yeah, he really is, the clarity of his teaching is just extraordinary, and you can't help but make progress.
And what about the Morris dancing?
Oh.
We saw a little bit of that on our Prague to Vienna tour.
As I confessed to you yesterday or the day before that as a child my ambition was to be a ballet dancer, and it never happened for all kinds of, just life, all kinds of reasons. Didn't happen. But many, many years later, when I first moved to Adelaide in 1980, I saw the Morris men dance. You know, they were dancing out, and you know, publicly.
What are Morris men?
Oh, okay. Morris dancing is an ancient English traditional dance. It's danced by usually 6, but sometimes 8 dancers with live music. And it's not like a country dance. It's more like a ritual dance. There's choruses and figures, and you know, it's pretty complicated. Kind of. I won't really go into it, but it's all pretty complicated. How the structure of it all. So I discovered there was an Adelaide Morris dancers, and I joined the Adelaide Morris men, and I've danced with the Adelaide Morris men really on and off since 1980. And I've also danced for a year in England with another side there near Eastbourne, and I danced as well with another side in Hastings called Mad Jacks. I danced there for quite a long time with them. So yeah, I've been around the Morris kind of world, really. I built a couple of accordions myself, and I wouldn't say I'm a musician, but I can play a few Morris tunes. I squeeze out a few Morris tunes on the accordion. So Morris dancing's fun. It's very physical. It's very social, but it's also incredibly time-consuming. You know, Morris dancers go away all over the place dancing, and it just takes up an extraordinary amount of time. So I haven't been so actively involved in the past couple of years. I've been more into the cycling in the past couple of years than the Morris dancing. It's an arcane, weird interest, but you know, people do it.
Speaking of cycling, like, how do you have the time right now to be on a month-long bike tour in Europe? Are you retired?
I'm retired. I'm no longer in the paid workforce, and I'm also very, very lucky in that my marriage is one that where these things are quite easily negotiated. Separate. We do a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of holidays together and bits and pieces together. But there's also the freedom to do things individually. So Vicky's been to Europe a couple of times with her old nursing girlfriends, and they go away for 6 weeks even to Italy and places, and that's fine. And so ditto with me. I can just start to work on something, and I'll just run it past Vicky, and we'll just decide whether that fits for the family, and that there's no big birthdays on at that time or things that I need to be there for. So it's all negotiated, but there's the freedom to do those kinds of things. There's no problem in this marriage to do those kind of things.
Has there ever been a situation where you're away and like something happened where you wish you hadn't been away?
No.
That's good.
Luckily, fortunately, nothing's happened while I've been away, apart from minor plumbing issues. Or
What do your family members or like the grandkids think of your bike tours? Do they think it's a big deal that you do this, or they don't think anything of it?
They do. I'm the one that doesn't think it's a big deal. I'm the one that just takes it in my stride and thinks, oh well, this is what you do. You just jump on the bike and ride. But the feedback from them is that they think it's, a bit out of the ordinary for someone who's 70 to be jumping on the bike and riding 80 and 90 Ks, or riding for weeks at a time and living in a tent and so forth. So I don't see it as so extraordinary. I just see it as part of what I do. And I just sort of cherish the time that I cherish the fact that I can do it still, and I just love doing it. So, the time will come when I have to say, look, I have to modify what I do, or I have to do it a bit more easily, or I have to, but that time hasn't arrived yet.
That's good. How do you, we've talked about this before, but like a lot of people think that if they're 60 or something, they're too old, How do you know when that time is that,
Yeah, I think...
Because there's a difference, too, between getting old and getting soft, I think people get soft before they get old.
Yeah, they do. Look, I know a lot of people who say, I can't do this or I can't do something because I'm too old. And I guess my body will tell me. I mean, I get a lot of physical exercise and I'm fairly attuned with what my body's doing. So I think when the time comes and my body says, you've had enough of this, you've got to modify. I don't think I'll ever stop, but I think I'll just modify what I do. And, you know, if I can't cycle tour for weeks on end, I might cycle tour for days on end. You know, if I can't live in a tent, then I might get a cabin in a campground or something. I don't know, but I don't ever see a time that I'm going to stop doing stuff. Mm-hmm. I hate the idea of stopping everything because I'm too old. I just see, okay, if I can't do this, then I'll do it in another way. I'll do something else.
Yeah. What do you think of electric bicycles?
You know, I wouldn't be seen dead on one at the moment, but, you know, ask me again in 10 years. I might decide they're the best thing since sliced bread, you know.
Yeah, that's good. What do you...
But once again, you know, here's the thing. I mean, in the touring group, there are some people who do ride electric bikes, and they only ride electric bikes because they've modified what they do. They just simply can't get up the hills anymore. They're too, you know, they're fairly senior in age, and so, you know, we had one old guy who used to ride with us. He was in his 90s, and he got an electric bike only like in for the last 5 years of his life, and good on him. He was still out there every day doing it and all the rest. So, but to get an electric bike just because, you know, you're young and you don't like hills or something, I think's a bit wishy-washy. That doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, no, I understand. What is it about bike touring that you enjoy?
What I enjoy about bike touring is similar to what I enjoy about bushwalking, walking in the bush for days on end or weeks on end. I like the physical activity. I like arriving at the end of the day when the body's kind of really had to work hard. I think I've got a body that thrives on hard physical work, and I just like getting somewhere and just feeling a bit knackered at the end of the day, like I've put everything into it. And then just the relaxation of camping, just being able to set up a camp and sit around and laugh and chat and, you know, crack a few jokes and just be a bit silly and just relax and get a good night's sleep in the tent. I sleep beautifully in the tent, there's no problem with that. And bicycle touring, yeah, it's like bushwalking. You know, you do those sort of things in the day, and then at night you gather around and you just do things. I like doing it with friends. I'm not so keen on doing it on my own. I have done it on my own, but I much prefer to do things I love with a group. So it's a kind of that shared camaraderie and shared bonding that's fantastic.
Canada, there was like this yoga by the sea sign, and like 30 people doing yoga, and this guy on one of those going around their crew in a big circle.
Good morning, Darren Alff here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I am in southern Slovakia at the moment with my friend Kevin here in the distance. We just spent the night at this campground / water park, and today we're going to pack up our tents right now and cycle for about 56, 58 kilometers, pretty short day actually, to the east. And there's another campground there that we're gonna plan to stay at tonight. So that's the plan. We're on our bikes for the next, I think, 9 days of cycling. We have 9 more days of cycling together here in Slovakia and the Czech Republic, and then Kevin has to fly home. So today is a short day, which we're both looking forward to, I think. It's gonna be a good day. Here we go.
So we just left the water park / campground. There was a whole group of people waiting to get in there. I think the place opens at 10, and they were there half an hour early or so. Now we're biking about 5 kilometers into town. We got to get some food. Neither Kevin or I have any food to eat for the rest of the day. Anything to say, Kevin?
Run out of tea.
Yeah, Kevin needs more tea. Tea and coffee is what this guy runs on. It's nice and cool right now. I hope it stays this way, but I don't think it will. I hung my shorts up my shorts and shirt and socks and everything last night to dry, and it didn't, so my shorts are totally soaking wet right now. Did your stuff dry?
Yeah, my stuff dried.
Oh, I hate you. Food time.
Good time.
So I just went into the supermarket and I got some mixed nuts, bananas, some multivitamin juice, and a little bit of bread. That's just to get me through the morning, kind of. This afternoon and this evening there should be some more supermarkets so we can stock up then for food later tonight. But for now, this is the food I'm carrying with me today. So yesterday the roads were nice and quiet. Today we've opted to cycle on the highway because the side roads took us all over the place and they were mostly on dirt roads. So we wanted paved road, and we're having to contend now with cars and trucks and everything. And hills. I just pulled over in this little bus stop area to get some relief from the sun. It is so hot today, and it's really humid as well. Kevin's coming up the road behind me. We opted to ride up this highway instead of going on the side roads today, mainly because we wanted to avoid a bunch of dirt road riding. There was the map was showing that there was a lot of off-road riding today, and I don't think we wanted to do that. So we opted for the highway, but now we're having to contend with like no shoulder to ride on, very, very hot, and lots of traffic, cars and trucks moving at high speed. So it's not a lot of fun, and I'm not filming a lot because it's too dangerous. So this is definitely not the best road, and I can't wait to get back up into northern Slovakia because I know that there are bike paths there. I think it's going to be much more bike friendly once we get into the more tourist part of Slovakia. I don't know where Kevin is. I think he must have stopped or something. I hope he's okay. I've been waiting here at this bus stop for like 5 minutes for Kevin, and he's still not here. He wasn't that far behind me. I went into the woods to pee, and he may have passed me, not seeing my bike here, and he may have continued and I didn't see him. Or he's back there behind me, waiting for me, and I'm up here waiting for him. Or he's in trouble back there, and I'm just sitting here waiting for him. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna go back and try to find him. More cycling on dangerous roads. Where did Kevin go? I've gone about halfway back to where I saw Kevin last time, lost several kilometers going backwards down a big hill, which means I'm gonna have to go back up the hill. Now I gotta go up another hill down to where I saw him again. So I'm climbing two extra big hills just to find Kevin. Where did he go? I passed Kevin when we were going up the other side of this big hill, and I just figured I'd meet him at the top, but he wasn't there. He didn't show up. So I hope he's okay. I hope he didn't get, you worry that he gets hit by a car or something going up this big hill. I hope that he just passed me when I was going pee and I didn't see him, but that would have been pretty fast for him to be that close behind me, I think. So I've now ridden back 5 kilometers all the way back to where I passed Kevin on this hill. He's nowhere to be seen. Hopefully he's up the road somewhere and he just passed me while I was in the woods peeing. But I had my bicycle at that bus stop. He rode right past it, and it's pretty hard to miss a bright red bicycle standing on the side of the road, and he knows that I stop and wait for him at the top of hills. Also, it'd be good if he had his phone turned on so that I could message him and say, "Where are you?" I'm just about back to that bus stop where I stopped and peed and lost Kevin. I doubt he's going to be there. I'm guessing he's somewhere up the road, probably like 10 kilometers up. He's like, "Where's Darren?" So there's the bus stop where I had my bicycle. Kevin should have been able to see me there. My guess is that he was so focused on the traffic, he wasn't looking around and didn't see my bicycle just sitting there. And he probably continued up the road, and he's up here waiting for me somewhere. Hopefully. I'm trying not to get too worried, but it's been 10 kilometers now since I left him. He knows I wouldn't go this far without stopping and waiting for him. He thinks I'm in front of him. I don't know. Okay, now I'm in the next town called Batka, and Kevin is not here either. Like, he should know that I would not go through a town like this without just leaving him behind. If he thinks I'm in front of him, he might just keep cycling, maybe. But he should also know that I wouldn't just like plow through a town like this without waiting for him. So I don't know where he is, and I'm starting to get a little worried now. I honestly thought he'd be up here waiting for me somewhere, but I don't see him. I'm checking the cafes because maybe he stopped and get a coffee or something, but I do not see him anywhere. And there's no messages, of course, from him on my phone. I'm gonna stop at this bus stop, send him another message. So I honestly don't know where he went. It's very strange, and I don't know what to do. I've sent the message. All I guess I can do is keep going and hope that he's okay. I've gone back looking for him. He's nowhere to be found. It's not really a good predicament to be in here. Well, I don't know what to do. I messaged Kevin, told him what's going on. I am just going to continue up the road to this town called Tornala. That's where I told Kevin we were going to turn. So hopefully he just continued up the road till there, and I'll meet him somewhere on the edge of town. I just can't believe he would cycle all that way and leave me behind. But the thing is, he probably thinks I cycled all that way and left him behind. But I've never done that before, so I mean we've separated by like a kilometer or something, but this is ridiculous. Okay, I just got a message from Kevin on the phone. He is up ahead of me, and we're gonna meet up the road. I don't know why he cycled so far by himself and not stop and wait for me, but we'll find out here what happened in just a moment. There he is.
What happened?
Oh, nothing happened to me. I just rode up the road. I just kept riding, and when I got to where I thought was around, I saw the big turn off, I thought, I'll stop here.
You rode right past me though.
Yeah, I don't know how, I just rode up the road. I was looking out when we got to, well, after 15 k's or so. Whenever there was an intersection, I was looking, but the rest of the time I was just wandering along at about 7 k's.
I do get in front of you, but not that much in front of you.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't, I couldn't see up the road. It's too twisty. I didn't know where you were.
We arrived at this cafe. It was hot and sunny, and now it's pouring rain.
Look at this.
Vodka.
That's what I wanted, was an iced coffee. So Kevin and I have reconnected. We just had Kevin's coffee break. I had a little coffee too. It was okay. I wanted a cold coffee and they gave me a hot coffee. I don't know what I actually ordered, to be honest. I just used hand gestures to order it. So I kind of got what I ordered, you know? I was like, coffee, and then I just like swirled my fingers to say I wanted whipped cream on top. But that wasn't exactly what I wanted. Anyways.
You got something vaguely approximated.
Yeah. Well, I saw a guy that walked out of the store like 30 seconds before you arrived.
Yeah.
That had a cold iced coffee with whipped cream on top.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted.
Okay.
But they didn't make that for me.
Well, I got 2 coffees. Very nice.
And how much was all 3 of our drinks? Were how much?
Well, a lot for €2.80.
$2.80 for 3 coffee drinks. Pretty good. And we weathered the storm there too, so now it's hot and muggy again.
Crack it. Pretty serious bit of wood splitting going on there. Enough?
A little more.
Load of firewood.
Okay, I'll take it from here. Cool, thanks. Last town before our campground. I'm on bike duty here outside the Coop supermarket, just watching the bikes while Kevin's inside shopping. We're buying food for tonight and tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow morning we'll ride to another town where we'll get food for the following days as we head up into the mountains. So just stocking up on food for tonight and tomorrow. So, Kevin, what'd you get in the supermarket?
I've got 2 bread rolls, 2 yogurts, 2 noodles, and a capsicum salad for €1.78.
Not bad.
Not bad shopping.
But what was the problem?
No fruit, no veggies.
Yeah.
Whether there's somewhere else it does. I was looking for an avocado, but couldn't see one. There's no avocado here.
Don't you find that that's like a problem on a lot of our bike trips? Like finding fresh food is difficult,
It is, yeah.
depending on where you are.
Taiwan was pretty good because there's always plenty of fruit. It always depends on the fruit.
Yeah, but you couldn't find a vegetable sometimes.
No.
Like earlier on this trip, I asked you to get me some broccoli, and there wasn't any.
There's none to be had, no.
Yeah. I bought an ice cream inside the store. This thing was 59 cents. The campground tonight, I've done no research on it, but just by what I can see on the map, it looks like it's located right outside of a cave, maybe a limestone cave. So I don't know how many people are going to be here. We'll see. Looks pretty empty. This is it, Kevin. But it looks like nobody is here. The cave is down there. I think the camping is indicated down there somewhere. But I don't see anyone around.
Alright, I'll cruise past here or go down there.
Let's just cruise over there first and then...
Have a look.
Yeah. There doesn't appear to be anybody here. There are cabins that you can rent, it looks like. This place is cool. They have a swing, Kevin. There's a swing up there on the hill. I'm gonna try that later. Boy. They have a swing, cabins for rent, totem poles.
Volleyball court, swimming pool.
This place is like a ghost ship. Oop. Here or there? I'm sure the dog will tell somebody we're here. So what just happened, Kevin?
Circumstances that I have no idea about. I think we've just been told camp anywhere we like, do whatever you like, and then the hostess just boarded the house up.
Yeah, this woman just peeked her head out of the window.
Yeah.
Spoke a few words saying, she just pointed over here and said, yeah, camp.
Do whatever you like.
Yeah.
So here we are, and we've got a really nice little camp spot here.
All to
All
ourselves.
to ourselves, and I'm not sure about what the arrangement is, whether there's payment or whether there's not payment or whether there's, who knows.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to be.
I asked her in Polish if there was a cost. Yeah, but she didn't. She just kind of shrugged her shoulders.
She said, don't ask me, I only work here.
Okay.
So, and there's a big millstone there.
So we seem to have this entire amusement park to ourselves. The woman that we just asked about camping just left in her car. She didn't say anything about showers or toilets or anything really. She just pointed and said, yeah. So
here we are.
we're left to explore on our own. It was kind of fun, I think.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of cool stuff around here. I think she took the dog. Yeah. Oh no, there's the dog. I said, nope, there's the dog.
There's the dog.
Huh. Let's try the other building. I think the dog is friendly to us now.
Yeah.
Hey. Swimming pool. Swimmable. We've got the entire pool to ourselves here. Woo! What about these buildings? There's toilets right there. I found the toilets, outhouses, 2 of them. Oh, there's the, looks like the cave.
Road to the cave.
Wow, that looks awesome. These limestone caves are just like right down this trail.
And they're probably locked up nice and tight.
No, Kevin.
You can get in there.
Kevin thinks they're locked up, but I'm hoping for the best.
How far along are they?
I don't know, it didn't say. It didn't look very far though. There we go.
Here we are, the aromatic toilet for the toilet nonetheless.
Look at the forest behind me. What do you think, Kevin?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, see, 80 meters to the
Okay,
cave.
let's walk 80 metres.
Okay, we'll
We'll
see.
probably just manage that.
I didn't bring a flashlight though. We'll have to come back. There it is. Yeah, I think you're gonna be right. It's gonna be all locked up.
Yeah.
That would be so cool if you pull on that.
Oh,
Yeah, this is cool. It would be even cooler if we could go in the cave, but
It's got everything. Big lumps of limestone.
and no one around.
No
That's
one.
my favorite part.
It's us.
I just think it's so funny how casual they are about camping. They're just like, yeah, do whatever you want. You know?
Yeah, I like it. Nice.
Like, one time on my 3rd bike tour, I was biking from North Carolina to Maine, and I asked at a church if I could camp behind the church, and they literally called the lawyers and asked them if it was okay for me to camp first. And then they said, yeah, it's okay.
Just sign this.
Yeah, I'm serious. Here, they just don't care. Check this out. There are all these cabins up here. This one happens to be open. Let's check this out. This is scary. There's a whole bunch of butterflies. Oh my gosh, there's a bird. Whoa, this bird's gonna hurt itself. I'm gonna get out of here. It's really scary. This is seriously like a horror movie in here. Okay, come on, I'm gonna leave you alone. But you can come over this way. Okay, so that was cabin number 1. Looks like a few of these other ones are open too. These are the bathrooms. Scary. Okay, this place is totally run down. This thing is really high up. Whee! Woo! So today, Kevin and I got lost for a little bit. We think what happened is I went up ahead of him on this climb, and I stopped at the top of the hill, and I put my bike there, but just at the moment that Kevin was passing my bicycle, I ran into the woods to pee. I think that's what happened. And Kevin didn't see my bicycle, probably because of the heavy traffic on the road.
Yep.
And your head was just down and concentrating.
Out of context, I wasn't looking for Darren to be stopped. I thought Darren would be just powering on ahead. I knew we had 20 k's to go up the road, or more, 25.
Yeah, I told you that in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I came back from peeing, I kind of waited for him, thinking that he was behind me. But in reality, he was in front of me. And so I went back looking for you, and then I didn't find you, so I kind of eventually figured out, like, okay, he's probably
up ahead
where
Yep.
I told him, 20 kilometers up the road. And that turned out to be the case. And also I sent you messages on your phone, which luckily you turned on your phone and
Yep.
got the messages. So I thought that this would be like a good time to talk about what our system is for how we attempt to not get lost.
Mostly successful.
Yeah, mostly successful for keeping together when we're on a bike tour, because we don't always necessarily cycle like 2 feet apart from each other. You know, like we do that sometimes where we're always within sight, but sometimes there are instances when we separate just
Yep.
because I'm going faster and whatever. You know?
Yep.
So what is our system? Do you know?
Well, our system is generally the kind of stock standard one of not, you know, if you come to an intersection, you usually wait for someone else. If you arrive at a potential turn-off point, you don't assume the other person will know exactly where you're going, so you always wait. It's the same principle involved if you're doing long distance walking, you know, on the trail or the Appalachian Trail or something. If you reach a junction, always stop and just wait for everybody to regroup. And that's essentially what Darren and I do. We just don't pass major intersections, we just hang about, and if we get there first, you just wait for the other person. And then we're clear about what we're doing. We usually run over in the mornings too, so there's usually some names of towns and so forth in the back of my mind. So Darren has the map on his phone, and I just have the names of a few towns in my mind and approximate distances, so I kind of know, I intuit when I'm about there, and I look at the name of the town and think, yeah, that's the place we've got to meet at, or that's the place we've got to turn off.
That's exactly right. That is what we do. We wait at the intersections. Yeah. The other thing you mentioned though is like I'm doing pretty much all the navigating, and you're just following. So that's a little. I mean, I don't. Do you like that or no?
Well, I think it works because I mean, I've got the maps on my phone too, but it can get confusing if two people are looking at. I noticed a few times when we were riding, you know, with Mikhail, for example, and even with Fakura, sometimes their maps were slightly different, and sometimes they'd say different things, and sometimes they'd give different distances. So it's probably better if one person's doing it, and then there's no confusion.
Yeah, we wasted a lot of time arguing over which route was the best way or something, when in reality either one of the routes probably would have gotten us to the same place.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a dog barking at us. Yeah, so that's generally our system, but I think one of the things that happened today was you went past me, which totally screwed with our whole system, because if you're waiting at the intersection and you think that you're in front, but in reality you're behind, then you're now waiting for people that are in front of you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can get completely bamboozled. I mean, all day, all that, you know, the couple of hours this morning, I thought I was way behind Darren. I thought Darren was probably a K up the road waiting for me somewhere. So I just had that in mind, and I just really kept my head down and kept going. I wasn't looking from side to side. I didn't notice Darren's bike laying on the side of the road because it would have been completely out of context. I was probably looking out for the odd truck that was going past me at the time, with very little shoulder of road. So all those things combined really meant But I just cruised past Darren probably at about 3 k's an hour going up the big
Yeah,
hill.
I think so.
But nonetheless, I think it's really, you know, I guess the take-home message, if you like, out of that is, if you are going to stop at a non-arranged place, the good thing is to be incredibly conspicuous, so that the people coming up can actually, you know, spot you really, really easily.
Yeah.
That's probably the lesson from this morning, is just make it as conspicuous as you can.
And don't take a pee break right when they're biking past. Because I thought the bike was pretty obvious, but I think our timing was really bad. I thought you were further back than you really were, but you were right behind me, I think. Mm-hmm. So my mental timing was like, oh, I got 3 minutes to wait here. In reality, I had 30 seconds or less.
By the time you got to the top of the hill, I was probably half a k behind you, or 600 meters or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly. So
Up
you
that
passed
big hill.
me right in that period. So once we were separated, I sent you some messages on your phone, and I think the technology today makes it a whole lot easier when you do get separated, because we did a trip together in Taiwan, and we had a separated day there where I think you missed a turn or something, and we didn't have any way to communicate because Kevin didn't have a phone, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so I had a phone, but I had no way to get in touch with him. So we luckily found each other, but it's so much easier today if both people in the group have a phone and have some way to interact with one another. And like I've told you now, like I'm going to send you a message on Facebook Messenger. That's the way that I'm going to contact you. So there's no confusion, like him trying to call me or send me an email, and I'm not checking those two devices, you know. Yeah, or apps or whatever.
You know, it's worth spending 5 minutes in the morning before you leave, just actually doing a little manual backup, just by saying, okay, there's the town and that's the name of it, just so that those names and distances are embedded in someone's head, and they can recollect, they can recall that conversation, so they know at least in their mind. So they're not relying totally on the technology; it's relying on both the technology and a kind of a manual, cerebral approach as well, just remembering stuff.
Yeah. The technology, like you said, is like the last resort. I feel like too many people now are leading their bike tours just looking at the GPS and relying so much on the device. In reality, it's more common sense and remembering the names and the distances, like you did.
Yep. And if you, I mean, on this bike that I'm riding, the Van Nicholas Devon, I don't have a computer, so I've really got no idea how many k's I've travelled, but the more I ride without a computer, the more I'm kind of intuitively being able to pick up just how far I've gone with reasonable accuracy. So this morning, when I got to the right turn off before Darren, I kind of knew that's around about this time, or that's the distance. I sort of knew in my head that was the distance that we had to go before we turned off. So there was some little kind of alarm going off in my head. So it's an interesting exercise anyway, to become a little bit more intuitive about how much distance you've travelled, and you get better and better at it, I think.
Yeah. I've asked Kevin at several points throughout this bike tour, like, how far do you think we went today? Or how far do you think we've gone on this whole trip together? And like, you're off sometimes by like nothing, you know? Seriously, like you're off by nothing. Yesterday I asked him, how far do you think we've gone on our whole trip together? And my odometer on my bike computer said 960 kilometers. And you said, oh, about 960 kilometers. And I was like, what the heck? How did you do that? You know? But that seriously does happen when you ride a bike a lot, is you kind of just know what those distances are.
You get a feel for distance, yeah.
Yo, Kevin.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. That was quite a storm we had last night.
Sure
Huh?
was.
Did you move over here during the storm, or just in the morning?
Well, just stayed put, but I've just been organising things over here.
Okay.
One of my front panniers took a little bit of water, so a couple of... They're not quite as
They are.
100% waterproof as they.
Oh, really?
They put a smack out.
That's not
But
good.
I didn't get anything drenched, it just was a bit of water on that shirt, a bit of water on those necks, so I just threw them out.
Yeah, the light. I mean, it was thundering and lightning,
It
and
was crazy.
yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah, and that lightning, when all that lightning started early on, jeez, it was rocking the place. Wasn't it?
Yeah, the ground was shaking.
Yeah, it was shaking, yeah.
That was cool.
Quite something.
Bye-bye, perfect campsite.
Yep.
It has been super sunny and super hot for the entirety of our bike tour here in Eastern Europe until today. I'm wearing both of my jackets. It's quite cold, not freezing, it's actually like perfect cycling temperatures. I'll probably take the jacket off pretty soon, but I checked the weather and it looks like it could be raining for the next week. So lots of rain in the forecast. This nice flat valley. We got a bit of a headwind today. It's overcast and kind of cold, but now we are heading up into the mountains, and then this next town coming up, we have our first big climb of the day. 2 big climbs today. This is the first one. Hopefully it's not too bad. Even though like this is super steep, I feel like this is the type of bicycle touring I enjoy the most. It's like when there's no cars.
Yeah, nice forest.
Forest road, yeah. We're in this valley now, and we're going uphill very gradually, but we're also fighting a pretty strong headwind. And the wind, more than the hill, is really wearing me out. I'm feeling very tired right now. We've only got about 7 more kilometers to go now until the campground. It's up a big hill with switchbacks. Our campsite is up at the top of that hill there, off in the distance, straight ahead. Got a couple steep switchbacks to go, and then we'll be there, 7 kilometers away. Go Kevin, go Kevin, go. Go. Said go Kevin, go Kevin, go. Woo! Cheerleader. Almost there. So we're almost to the top. What did you think of that bad boy?
That was one hell of a climb, that. 2 in a day. Man, that's enough for me. I've had my fill of mountains for the day.
We've only gone 57.5 kilometers, but it feels like at least like 112. Something like that.
Yeah, two monster climbs.
With a headwind.
Yeah.
Left. Yeah.
Oh, you just need the one.
Room number 6.
6.
One plane is in a room,
Yes.
and this is my door.
The main door.
Yeah.
Tired?
Yeah. Yeah, those couple of hills, that was enough for the day. I mean, it's enough in the legs if we had another, 20 or 30 and it was on the flat or something, moderately flat, but I don't think the legs got too many more hills in them.
Yeah. There's a lot of climbing today.
Oh man, that was so a tough climb.
What else did you order?
I had
Oh, the gnocchi.
potatoes and salad, gnocchi with sauerkraut.
Isn't that the gnocchi?
No, that's just roast potato.
Okay.
No, it's just roast potato.
All right, good morning. It's Saturday. We just spent the night here in Dadinki. Is that the name of it? Dadinsky?
Dadinki? Yeah, Dadinki.
Dadinki, Slovakia. So, yesterday we were kind of down in the flatlands of southeastern Slovakia, and then yesterday, I guess all day long, we cycled up into the mountains, and now we're kind of in touristy Slovakia. We're in Slovak Paradise National Park, and today we're going to continue through the park, kind of to the north end of the park. Just a short, like 40-kilometer ride today, but it should be pretty mountainous. We spent the night at this hotel here last night. Worked out pretty well, I think. Got us out of the cold. It's pretty cold today, and yeah, today should be a good ride.
Good day.
Here we go. So yesterday was a full day of climbing. Lots of climbing yesterday. Then we spent the night at the hotel, and that was nice, but our stay was far too short. I wanted to sleep for another day, but now we're back out on the bike. We're doing a short day today. It's only 40-something kilometers, but it's uphill through the Slovak Paradise National Park. Really beautiful scenery, but hilly to do on a bicycle. Hopefully it'll be worth it. I think it will be. Yesterday was pretty spectacular. Today should be just as good, if not better. So in the Slovak Paradise National Park, and this place is seriously like my personal paradise. This is why I wanted to come to Slovakia, for roads and mountains and forests like this. I'm really enjoying it. So we were up at about 1,000 meters, 3,000 feet or so. Now we are going down a massive downhill, and this is a whole lot of fun. This is probably my favorite day of biking on the entire trip thus far. We haven't spent a lot of time in the towns, which I like going through the towns. It's pretty scenic and nice to see all the people and the buildings. But this kind of scenery is totally my type of bicycle touring. There's only been a few cars on the road all day long. It's really spectacular. This is the stuff that I love. So this is our campsite for tonight. We're trying to find a place to camp. Big group here has claimed all the picnic tables. Alright, so this is our campsite for tonight. In a big freaking park established campground. I don't like camping at these kinds of places really, to be honest. How far do you think we went today, Kevin?
25, 20, no, a bit more, 30 something, 35.
You looked at my odometer.
No, I didn't.
35
Oh,
kilometers.
Yeah.
No,
I never cheat about these things.
What did you think about the ride today?
The ride was really nice actually, over the top of the mountain there, beautiful mountain meadows. Perishing cold coming down the other side though, I'm still cold.
Yeah, it's still...
My hands are kind of really frozen.
We've had our jackets on for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't know where that cold has
I've got a
come
jumper
from.
on underneath this, it's really quite cold. A
Yeah.
northerly airstream or something.
Yeah. So this campground cost us €8.20 each, and that doesn't include the showers. I'm not exactly sure how much the showers are, but they're like €1 each for that as well.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is home for the night. It's time for Kevin's tea break.
Tea break.
No coffee today, just tea.
I doubled up on coffee for breakfast. Some people think tea is about life and death, but it's not true. It's much more serious than that.
I didn't even have tea, I don't think, until I was like 25 years old.
Did you?
No.
I love this stuff.
Until I came to Europe. I don't know a single person in America that drinks tea.
Well, I don't drink much of it. I'd probably only drink 2 cups a day. Breakfast I always have tea.
That's quite a bit.
2 cups?
I think so.
pick up the shower things at the office. They're 50 euro cents each.
Oh, okay. It's really cool. Kevin's campfire creation here. It's not really a campfire, is it?
No, it's a sophisticated bit of bushwalking kit. This is one I prepared earlier.
Was it good? It's like macaroni.
Okay.
It looks like macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni with the cheese and paprika.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like much, but
I kind of wanted to get that grilled cheese and marmalade sandwich they had over there. It sounded really either disgusting or delicious, I'm not sure.
it's always tomorrow, Darren.
So Kevin and I are in Slovakia right now, in the middle of our month-long bike tour across Eastern Europe. And we've decided to take a rest day today by going on a 4-hour hike. That's a rest day for us. The hike we're doing is called Sucha here in Slovakia in the Slovak Paradise National Park. And it's a pretty awesome hike thus far with ladders and rocks. We're kind of climbing up this stream.
Limestone Gorge.
Yeah, limestone gorge, as Kevin said. And it's pretty technical. Just lots of climbing over rocks and trees and ladders. This is fun though. So Kevin and I went on this really amazing hike today, the Sucha hike here in Slovakia. Of course, just as we were getting to the best part of the hike, my camera cut out, the battery died, and there's no more footage from the hike. There were about 4 or 5 more steep ladder sections like you saw me climbing up at the end of the video here. And that was a lot of fun, but also a little scary, and I was amazed that there were quite a few young children doing this hike because there was no ropes, safety ropes or anything, and it would have been very easy to fall, I think, and hurt yourself. But overall, a very, very good hike. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was a little bit like Disneyland because there were so many people on the trail, but other than that, it was probably one of the most memorable things that I've done on this particular bike tour. So glad I did it, even if I don't have all of the footage from the hike.
We're gonna go to bed now. We just had dinner at one of the nearby restaurants, which was really good. And we're gonna go to bed, wake up in the morning. We have a 70-kilometer bike ride to tomorrow through this really scenic valley here in northern Slovakia, so it should be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Kevin and I only have 5 more days together on the road, and then Kevin has to fly back to Australia, and I'm gonna travel north into Poland, and that will be the end of my trip, cycling trip at least, here in Europe. All right, back on the road. Yesterday we had a rest break here at Slovak Paradise National Park, went on a big long hike. Now we're back on our bicycles heading west towards the Czech Republic. We've only got 5 more days of cycling together before Kevin has to go home back to Australia and I head north into Poland. So today is our first day cycling west towards the Czech Republic, and I think it'll be a relatively flat day. We do have a long climb for the first 30 kilometers. It's just kind of slow and gradual uphills, but after that it's a slow and gradual downhill for the remaining 40 kilometers of the ride. So 70 kilometers total today. Should be a good one. Here we go. We have been bicycle touring in Slovakia, in and out of Slovakia, for the last 10 days or so, ever since we left Vienna, Austria. And we're only now just getting into the part of Slovakia that I was kind of imagining for this bike trip. I really had never been to southern Slovakia much. I didn't know what it was going to be like. And it was a lot more farmland than I imagined. So I'm really liking it up here in the north, where there's more mountains, more small towns, a lot more to look at. The cycling here is a bit steeper than down in the south. There's more mountains to go over, but you're rewarded for your efforts with spectacular views. Just stocked up on food in this town, and now there's some really ominous rain clouds up ahead. Looks like it could rain here at any moment. Could get very cold and very wet very, very soon. It's starting to come down now. Whew. All of a sudden, we have reached the steepest hill of the day. This is almost so steep that I'm gonna have to get off and walk. I'm in my lowest gear and struggling. Kevin's up ahead of me here. At least it's in the shade. Whew. This thing is steep. Oh man, Kevin, that's a killer. Race you to the top. The problem with video is that it never makes the hills look as steep as they really are. Ooh, this sucker is bad. Kevin and I have taken shelter underneath this tree. It started raining really quickly, and we're going to sit here for about 5 minutes, see if the storm passes. That way we don't get totally drenched. We get just a little wet under the tree, but hopefully the storm will pass. 5 minutes, and we'll continue on our way without being totally cold and wet. So that's the plan.
That's a good plan to me.
Yeah. And while we're here, Kevin will sing a song. While we're here, Kevin will do a dance.
A rain dance.
While we're here, Kevin will recite a poem.
Death takes the innocent young, those rolling in money, those screamingly funny, and those who are very well hung.
So that worked out pretty well. We just stopped under that tree for about 5 minutes. It rained heavily for those 5 minutes, and now the rain is essentially stopped. It's still sprinkling a little bit, but nothing like it was a moment ago. So that's one strategy that you can use on your own bike tours to get yourself out of the rain. Don't think that you have to keep riding just because it's raining. Pull over for a few minutes. Oftentimes the rain will just come excuse me, very quickly for 5-10 minutes. You can shelter yourself, stay dry, and then continue down the road. It's much better than riding and getting all wet and then getting all cold and being miserable. I've learned that the hard way, trust me. It's raining! It's raining again! This is our town where we're going to be staying tonight. Looks like an industrial logging and mining town. Not exactly a tourist town, but we'll see what they have as far as lodging tonight. Because it's raining, we're going to try to get a hotel or a pension or something. Don't know what the prices are going to be like, but we'll find out. Alright, so Kevin's inside this hotel. It costs about 44 euros for the night. We're gonna split it, so that's like 22 euros a piece. This is definitely nicer than the last hotel we stayed at. Summarize our day. How was it?
Summarize the day. Well, beautiful riding.
Yeah.
Lovely, beautiful valley. Glacial valley, then up high at about 1,000 metres in beautiful forest and lovely road with no cars. Certainly a climb to get up there, and then a nice descent over 25 or 30 k's. Then the rain came and didn't really stop, so we kind of tossed the coin and decided instead of pitching a tent in the rain, we'd stay at a hotel.
Yeah.
So here we are in the, I don't know, the hotel something. Hotel.
Just hotel.
Hotel.
Yeah. But yeah, what's the plan now?
Plan now.
Shower.
Get cleaned up.
Coffee. Yeah. What? You already? Oh, you didn't get your coffee today.
Get a coffee. I might just slip down and have one now.
It looks good.
Yeah, have some.
I'll trade you like half of this for half of that.
Yeah, just eat.
We just had a really good meal at LH Point Restaurant. Right, Kevin?
Crisscrossing.
Yeah. Oh man, it was good.
It was a nice meal, really nice.
All of the food I feel like we've had on this trip has been really good for the most part. Except for Kevin's noodles and beans that he keeps eating.
Kevin's invention.
Yeah.
Well, it's cheap and easy on the road, isn't it? Just to throw a can of beans and some chilies into a pot and throw some noodles in and wolf it down at the end of the day and crawl into the tent.
Yeah. But when we've gone out to eat, it's always been good.
It has been good.
And
the food has been good.
And even our campfire food camp food has been pretty dang good, you know?
Yeah.
We were talking about at dinner how, like, I went to South America. I've spent 9 months there, and I've probably eaten like 2 good meals in all that time. I can count them on one hand.
Yeah.
And here in Eastern Europe, it's just been good all the time,
Every
basically.
time,
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a dud at all, have we?
No, I don't think so. All right, and good morning from
Liptovský Hrádok
in Slovakia.
in the High Tatra Mountains.
We stayed at this hotel last night, and now today we are cycling this direction, west, for about 60 kilometers. What's the plan today, besides that?
Plan today is just to ride the short distance, 60, 65 something, and then camp tonight.
Yeah.
Somewhere or other.
Yeah. No big hills expected. There is, I think, a small climb. We're going around a big lake today, but other than that, it should be a good ride.
Flattish.
Flattish. Here we go. Woo! Bike path here that's taking us kind of around the town so we don't have to bike through traffic. Unfortunately, it's just started raining, so it's even colder than it was before. Very hectic. We're following the river off to my right for the next 23 kilometers on this road. So it's going to be kind of heads down, concentrate, and get there as fast as we possibly can. Riding along the highway when all of a sudden there was like a doo 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 noise. And Kevin stopped and thought he was fine, but then he just stopped again. He's got a flat tire, so I'm going to go back and help him. So we aren't sure what Kevin hit or ran over, but it was a pretty loud, like, thumping noise. It sounded like a stick or something.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in the road there myself. Yeah, there's no, like, nail or something, because it sounded like something big caught between your fender and your tire.
Yeah.
And then that caused the puncture, maybe, or something. I just found what caused Kevin's puncture. We ran over a nail, but it didn't go into your tire, I don't think. I think it just picked it up off the road, and it went inside his fender, and like caused like a pinch flat or something almost. So this right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, I bet it just went like that. Like, you know, it got caught on the side and then doof,
So
stuck.
I wonder if it's coming through, if there's a bust in the side.
So you think you fixed the flat? Don't want to say.
I hope so. 4 years ago was the last flat I had, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Alright, we just pulled off the main highway. That road was, we were traveling fast, but it was no fun at all. Yeah, so now we're in Ratkovo, Slovakia, and we're gonna go just and try to find a store so we can get some food for dinner tonight. And then our campground is just like 2 kilometers from the convenience store. Well, the last 3 supermarkets that we've tried to stop at for food have been closed. We aren't sure why they're all closed, but they are. So we weren't able to get any extra food for dinner tonight. We're gonna bike out to the campground now, see what's out there. I doubt there's food at the campground, but we'll see. We may just have to subsist on whatever inside of our panniers at the moment, which for me is spaghetti and some leftover stuff from lunch. So I'll be good. When you're bicycle touring and you're going out to a campground marked on a map, I've done no research on this campground. Don't know if it's open, what's here. It could be just a spot in the grass. Don't really know. Could be a big established campground with food and entertainment and dancing girls. I doubt it, but it could. I think Kevin wanted to get a hotel, but we just had a hotel last night. And this place is cool. I love this kind of stuff. Especially if we have the entire place to ourselves for camping. That'd be incredible. I do see another car up here though. This looks like an information building or something for during the tourist season. There's fresh water coming out of the mountain. We can sit here and have dinner.
We can sit here and dine.
Are you up for camping here? You seemed like you wanted a hotel a moment ago.
Oh no, it's cold down the bottom with that wind coming in.
Yeah, it's warmer here, isn't it?
It's warmer here, it's much better here. No, I'm fine.
Okay. Tomorrow night we'll have a hotel. Because there's no camping.
It's tough as nails.
Yeah. You were about to cry a moment ago.
I wasn't about to cry, I was just about to throw the bike across the road. I wasn't, I just, my legs just said no, there's no more hills.
So we're back on our bicycles here in northern Slovakia. We just left another free campsite. We keep finding these things somehow. First thing in the morning, going up a 12% grade. Climbing a big hill like this on a regular bicycle versus climbing on a big loaded touring bicycle like the one I'm on are two very different things. And it takes a lot more work to get up a hill like this on a touring bicycle. Sometimes my strategy is just to power myself up to the top as fast as I can. But on this hill, my strategy was just to go very slow, take my time, and it seems to have worked. I'm at the top now. What's your name?
My name is Eric.
Uh-huh.
My name is Marian.
Marian. And you live here? Slovenia. Yeah. Slovenia. You've done your own bike tour, but you were saying you rode all the way to Paris from here. Yeah. That's really cool. This is it, Kevin.
This is it, we're here. Good.
How do you feel?
Check.
Thanks, guys, for riding with us. That was fun. It was nice meeting you. And maybe I'll see you on another bike trip somewhere. That'd be cool.
Next year.
Next year.
In Czechia.
Okay.
It was a pleasure for us.
It's a deal.
It's a deal.
Cool. All right, Kevin, you ready?
We're ready.
Hotel time. All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
See ya. Have a safe trip home. We'll go this way, Kevin. Down here. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so we just got a hotel. We're at Hotel Lipa in Szadce, Slovakia. This is my little bathroom here. There's a shower and a sink, but no toilet. The toilet's out in the hallway, and you share the toilet with everyone on the hall, basically. So this is the little room that I got, and you'll notice there are two beds in here, but Kevin is not in here. I went in and asked about the price. The lady at the reception, really nice, but doesn't speak a word of English. She basically said that I could get a single room, this is a single room, for 15 euros, or she could put the two of us in a double room, which is actually the same room, for 30 euros. So it's the same price whether we get two separate rooms or we sleep in the same room. So I just said, give us two separate rooms then, if it's the same price. So this room cost 15 euros, less than 20 US dollars. And Kevin's in another room just down the hall. He paid 15 euros for his room as well. And so tonight, for the first time on the whole trip, we have our own hotel room, which is really nice. Kind of nice to have a little bit of separation when you're on a trip like this. Outside here, I have a patio or a balcony. I'll open it up, and you can see a little bit. I don't want the door to close behind me. A little bit of the town here. There's nothing really spectacular going on, but that's about it. There's someone watching me. Someone's being quiet. There's two women down there that work at the hotel, I think, just kind of watching me. But anyways, this place is far from spectacular, but it's all we need for one night. This city, Szadca, Slovakia, is where I came in the winter of 2013. I rode my bicycle here from Krakow, Poland, over the mountains, through the snow, and came to Szadca, Slovakia, and I rented a hotel just down the street, actually, not this hotel, a different hotel. And I stayed in that hotel for about 2 weeks, which is where I wrote and finished writing my book called Winter Cycling. So Szadca was where I came to write my winter cycling book, and it turned out to be a great place to come because there's really nothing to do in this town. When I was here, I would wake up, I'd write for a little bit, then I'd go out on a walk, go into the center of town, get some groceries, maybe hike up into the mountains a little bit, and then I'd go back to my hotel and continue writing for the rest of the day. So this is the place where my winter cycling book was born, and it's cool to be back here 5 years later or something like that, seeing the place in the summertime, because now all the snow is melted and yeah, it looks a little different, but it's just as gray and depressing as I remember it being, to be completely honest. Nothing spectacular about this place other than the fact that I've been here before, and it's where I wrote my book, Winter Cycling. All right, and good morning from Szadca, Slovakia. We stayed in this hotel, Hotel Lipa, last night. We were originally going to cycle all the way to Ostrava, and yesterday we kind of decided, after looking at the weather report, I think, we're going to take the train to Ostrava today instead, and then yeah, stay there for the night. The next day Kevin will leave for Prague, and then I'll continue cycling on my own towards Poland. We did it, Kevin. We made it to Ostrava. And we got off the train with all our stuff, we think.
Come on to the party, Darren. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's gonna feel weird. Yeah. Where's Kevin? Where's Kevin?
Looking behind you, though. I was going, where the hell is he?
Don't get lost.
No, I won't get lost. Okay.
All right. See ya. Well, I just said goodbye to Kevin after bicycle touring with him for the last month or so here in the Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, and Slovakia. It's pretty strange to be back here now on my own for the very first time in basically like 45 days. I've been on the road since I did my bike tour in Portugal and Spain, and then I flew to Poland, started biking there. I was alone for 2 days in Poland at the beginning of this kind of Eastern Europe trip. But ever since then, I've had somebody with me, Kevin, Fakura, Josie, Michael, Lene, all sorts of people have been riding with me. So today, for the first time in a long time, I am back on my own, and it feels very, very strange. It's kind of quiet, you know? So today's going to be a strange day for me to be cycling back on my own, but I am going to continue cycling west and north, kind of along the border between the Czech Republic and Poland, and then my bike tour here in Europe, for the summer at least, is going to come to an end. Today I'm going about 60 kilometers, not too far, but I do have to get out of Ostrava and I do have to go up into the mountains, so it could be a little bit difficult in that regards, but should be a relatively easy day of cycling. Yeah, it's a weird thing today to be on my own again, and I'm looking forward to it, but it's also kind of strange. I think the first few moments riding out of town, I'm going to probably keep looking back to say, where's Kevin? Where's Kevin? He's not there. And then realizing that I am on my own. So
Right now I'm going to pack up my bicycle and get ready to hit the road. I'm going to eat some breakfast, brush my teeth, pack up the bike, and then we'll be off.
And just like that, I've gone 10 kilometers. I'm outside the city of Ostrava, which was kind of not too bad to get out of, but it wasn't fun either. I didn't film much because I had to concentrate. But here I am now, out in the countryside. It's much nicer, and I should be out here kind of and going through small towns for the rest of the day now. So I've reached the climbing part of my ride today. It's a 10-kilometer uphill like this. You might hear some clicking coming from my bike. There's a bunch of gravel in the road that's going up into my fenders. Anyways, 10 kilometers of kind of gradual uphill climbing like this, not super steep. I'm in my 4th gear right now, but yeah, just slow going. Luckily there are like almost no cars on this road, so it's really nice. Alright, so here I am inside the tent now. Time for one of Darren's tent talks. Haven't done one of these in a while. Now is the time. I am finally back out on the road on my own, and because there's no one around, I feel comfortable talking to the camera for a short period of time. Let me talk a little bit about today. Today was kind of a short, somewhat boring day actually, kind of one of the most boring days scenery wise from the entire bike tour. Just riding through lots of farmland areas, and I didn't really film a whole lot because there wasn't really a whole lot to see, just farmlands, fields, a couple little towns, and that sort of a thing. So that being said, I think tomorrow looks really interesting because we're getting back into the foresty area like I am in now. This is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy, and I'm going to be crossing the border in 2 days back into Poland, and that's when I think things will get interesting again. So stay tuned. I think the riding tomorrow will be really, really good. Now that I'm back on my own, what is going to be happening? What's happening is I have rented an apartment in Poznan, Poland, which is one of the cities in the world that I've kind of discovered that I really enjoy, and I've made a bunch of friends there, and so I've decided this year to go back to Poznan, Poland and kind of use that as my home base for the rest of the summer. So I've rented an apartment in Poznan for 1 whole month, starting on July 8th and ending on August 7th, and then I fly back to the United States after that. My sister is getting married in September, so I gotta be back in time for her wedding. So I have like 9 more days that I basically have to kill before I can check into my apartment in Poznan, Poland. So what am I going to do during those 9 days? Well, I'm going to go on a little bike tour here in the northern Czech Republic and southern Poland. I'm going to basically slowly crisscross my way across the mountains here and then make my way to the city of Wrocław, Poland, which is kind of in southwestern Poland. And from there, I'm going to jump on a train and go to Poznan.
Good morning. It's 10 a.m. I've been very, very lazy today. This is the longest I've slept in a long time because it's my first day alone and I'm camped out in the forest. I can do whatever I want. And today I just wanted to be lazy. So it's 10 a.m. I'm going to get up and start packing right now. It was a good night. Had some deer come up to the tent last night and start barking when they saw my tent. They got a little scared. It also got a little cold last night, so I've got my jacket on now. But overall, pretty good night. Just gonna pack up and get going. It's really windy outside, and I just checked the weather, and the wind is blowing at about 32-35 kilometers per hour today. So it's gonna be a windy one. Shouldn't be too cold or rainy, but the wind is definitely gonna be a factor.
Having to climb uphill first thing in the morning is not my definition of fun, but to climb uphill on cobblestones, oh my goodness, this makes it so much worse. There we go. Just a moment ago, as I was cycling down this road, a car with two guys inside pulled up alongside me, and they rolled down their window. That scares me a little bit. I'm always afraid that, whoa, sorry. That always scares me a little bit because I'm afraid they might have a gun or something. But the guy rolls down his window and he says something to me in Czech, and I have no idea what he's saying, obviously. So I say, "Przepraszam, nie rozumiem," which is Polish for "I'm sorry, I don't understand." And then I say, "I speak English. Do you speak English?" And the guy says, "Oh yeah. I'm trying to find some city around here, you know." And I say, "I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not from here." And that was the end of the whole interaction. But I'm always surprised. This happens quite a bit, actually. And I'm always surprised when it does. Because riding this big red bicycle with all of my human possessions on it, you would think that people would know that I'm not from around here. But that apparently doesn't seem to be the case for some people. They just can't tell that I'm not a local. Going up another hill here. It's going to be like this all day long, I think. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, over and over and over again. Today is my first full day since leaving Kevin in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. Yesterday, I left him. Spent 90% of yesterday by myself, but today is the first full day where I'm 100% on my own. And I'm kind of surprised how quickly I'm getting back in my groove, because sometimes in the past I've struggled after riding with other people and then being back on my own to kind of, get back in the groove of things, to be comfortable back on my own again. But right now I feel really good. Really nice lake over here. And I think part of that is just because, oh no, more cobblestones. Ah! Oh, there he goes. Did you see the fox? He had something in his mouth, like a mouse or something like that. Scared him away, but fox. Hey. So this big patch of grass that you see behind me is the designated camping place up here. There's one other person camping. I don't see any signs whether it costs money, whether there are toilets. There's a blue building over here I'm gonna go check out. Looks like it might have toilets, maybe even showers. There's a sign at the entrance to this place saying that they have showers and bathrooms here. And these are the buildings, but I have a feeling they're locked. Yeah, locked. I don't know why they're locked, but shoot, that sucks. Would have been nice to get a shower. Alright, so this is my free campsite for tonight at the base of a ski resort here in the northern Czech Republic. There are no utilities here, no showers, no water, no bathrooms, nothing. But there is this pond behind me, and there is a flat spot to put my tent. So I'm going to pitch my tent now. It looks like it could rain at any moment, so I want to get my tent up pretty quickly and jump inside. It is really cold today. My hands are frozen. I didn't even bring gloves on this bike trip because I thought it was going to be warm. This is beautiful right here. Really nice. So I'm off the main road now, as you can see, and I'm on a little forest road, kind of cutting through the forest here. Road is amazing. Really beautiful forest, lots of people out. It's a Sunday, so people out picking berries and mushrooms, people on bike rides and hikes. And this road, I did not originally plan to cycle at all. It just turned out that I decided to go this way, and it'll probably turn out to be the best part of my day overall. Really beautiful. Look straight ahead, you can see I'm just about out of the mountains, and it is nothing but flat straight ahead. That's where I'm headed. Poland! So I'm still in the Czech Republic right now, but do you see that field right there, about 3 meters away? That's Poland right there. That is Poland. I'm in the Czech Republic. Czech Republic, Poland. I'm that close. Like I could almost reach over, kick my foot out. Ugh, I'm in Poland. That's how close I am. I'm just following the border right now for about 15 more kilometers, and then I will actually cross over into Poland. This road crosses. But right now, this road is essentially following the border between the Czech Republic and Poland, and I'm that close. I'm in Poland now. I'm in the Czech Republic now. I'm in Poland now. I'm in the Czech Republic now. time to say goodbye to the mountains that you see behind me. Czech Republic's been really nice. Slovakia, amazing. Austria, Hungary. Now it's time for some bike touring in Poland. So it is 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm still wearing my jacket even though the sun is out. There is a little bit of chill in the air. I've gone about 87 kilometers right now, and so I'm really just looking for a place to camp for tonight now. There is some forest off to my right that I'm kind of checking out, but haven't seen anything good yet. So I'm just gonna ride until I see some forest that I like. So this is the spot in the forest that I found for tonight. Not gonna get a shower tonight again. There are mosquitoes everywhere. So I'm gonna have to be very quick setting up my tent tonight. So I'm just gonna set it up and dive inside. Here we go. Okay, I've got the tent all set up. I'm just gonna jump inside. Okay, so I'm in the tent now. I set that up super fast and just dove inside because I was getting attacked by the mosquitoes. They got me on the ankles. I think there might be one in here still. I gotta take this jacket off, it's so hot. Oh my gosh. That was the nice thing about being up in the mountains, even though it was really cold like last night, there weren't any mosquitoes. Or there were a few, but not very many. Here, it's really bad. I can't get it off because I'm so sweaty, it's stuck to my arm. Whew. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I got bitten by mosquitoes. It's about 5 o'clock at night right now. My plan is to basically just spend the rest of the evening in my tent. I'm gonna pop out. I got some water before we got to the campsite here. Filled up my water bottles, and so I'm gonna take like a little bird bath, just like wash my face and arms and legs and stuff. But in order to do that, I have to get outside the tent. So I'm gonna do that in a second. Maybe I'll just chill here for a minute, but I'll do that in a minute, and then kind of set up camp inside the tent. I haven't even blown up my sleeping mat or you know, unfolded my sleeping bag yet. So just gonna hang out for tonight and yeah, avoid these mosquitoes as much as possible. I am in like a cool little forest here, so hopefully it won't get too hot, especially in the morning. There's no one around as far as I can tell, so we're doing a little stealth camping. But yeah, should be a good night. 3 days though without a shower. And so, just like that, my 2018 Central European bike tour across Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary came to an end. The next morning, after spending the night in my tent, I packed up my things, pushed my bike out through the forest, cycled a short distance, approximately like 80 kilometers, something like that, into the city of Wrocław, Poland. I rented an apartment there for like a week, and then I jumped on a train and traveled here to Poznan, Poland,
where I've rented another apartment on Airbnb. So that was basically the end of my bike tour in those few countries here in Central Europe, and overall it was really an amazing experience. I don't know if I necessarily captured the true essence of this bike tour on my videos. I think in a way, like with a lot of bicycle tours, the experience itself was better than any of the photos or the videos that I created on the trip. Bike touring is like one of those things that you got to get out there and do it yourself. And I think this part of the world in particular is a place that is enjoyed best in person. So if these videos interested you in any way in conducting your own bicycle tour in Central Europe, I highly recommend you get out here for yourself. I think you'll be surprised at just how amazing this part of the world truly is. That being said, if you want to learn how to conduct your own bicycle touring adventures, my name's Darren Alff, and I am the Bicycle Touring Pro, and for the last 10 years, I've been helping people all around the world learn how to conduct their own bicycle touring adventures. Whether you want to go bicycle touring in Central Europe or anywhere else in the world, I highly encourage you to visit my website at bicycletouringpro.com, pick up a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, or go through one of my video courses, which will teach you everything you need to know about how to conduct your own bicycle touring adventures anywhere in the world. Once again, I'm Darren Alff from bicycletouringpro.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.